Justin and company. Take it away, guys.
All right, thank you so much, Rob. What an environment here tonight at Floyd Casey Stadium. The Baylor line takes the field as they will form the line for the Baylor players to come on out. Oh, this is such a great place for college football on this Thursday evening as they welcome Oklahoma to town. Welcome to sold-out Floyd Casey Stadium. They're expecting a record crowd here tonight, and why not? Number 10 Oklahoma is here to take on number 6 Baylor. And hello to everybody. Justin Kutcher alongside Petros Papadakis and Joel Klatt. And guys, this is the game in the Big 12 that people have been talking about for weeks now. It is the game of the year in this conference. And Joel, if you look behind us, you know this game is huge for Baylor.
It's the most exciting and relevant time in Baylor's history as a football program. They're going to send out one of the most explosive offenses in college football history on the field tonight. But it's also an explosive environment around them. Art Briles, the former high school football coach, the legend from Stephenville, as the Baylor Bears one win away from the national championship title conversation.
And the Baylor Bears are getting set to take the field on this blackout in front of these fans who are just waiting for them. But Petros, the question is, everyone's been asking, how does Oklahoma's defense slow down this offense?
Well, it's been a national question because nobody has done it so far this season. Baylor has been an absolute juggernaut, but they've never faced a defense this experienced, this athletic, this big, and this strong. Oklahoma has secondary players that are very laced in the Big 12 game. Gabe Lynn and Aaron Colvin, 55 starts between these guys. They have to play lights out, the game of their lives, if they have a chance to slow down this great Baylor offense.
Well, this place is rocking here tonight. The college football eyes are on Waco as the Baylor Bears have the best offense in the country. But tonight they'll be tested for the first time as they take on number 10 Oklahoma. Kickoff is next. Number 10 versus number 6 on Fox Sports 1. Fox College Football is presented by Kay Jewelers. Back here in Waco, Texas at a sold-out Floyd Casey Stadium. We're all set for football. And let's check in with Christina Pink, who has some news on Oklahoma and some injuries there.
Thanks, Justin. Well, the Sooners are fed on their ground game all season, but that offensive attack taking a hit with the loss of Trey Miller, their senior fullback, out for the season after tearing his ACL in the game against Texas Tech. Their best weapon offensively, their best blocker, and really their most versatile player on offense. The coaching staff said there is no one player who can replace what Miller did for this team, but they're hoping collectively they can fill the void.
Well, maybe having the bye week will help them make the adjustment. Bob Stoops, in his 15th year, is one win shy of tying Barry Switzer for the all-time lead as the Oklahoma head coach. And on the other side is Art Briles in his 6th year, turning this program around. And you think about what the stretch they're on right now. This team has won a school record 11 in a row. Baylor won the toss. They elected to receive. Levi Norwood and Corey Coleman are back deep with Nick Hotch in the kickoff on a great night for football. 56 degrees, partly cloudy, and a whole lot of noise. It is a blackout for the Baylor Bears, all in black. And we're all set for football. Hodgson kicking it off. Coleman taking it from the end zone. Coleman. He gets up to the 30-yard line. A good return to open up this game for Baylor. And let's look at the impact players on this side of the ball.
Tevin Reese, he's a sprinter. He looks like a track star. He goes all the way down the field. He's one of the best wide receivers in the country. Lake Seastrunk, we already talked about him in the open. Big, strong running back. He'll carry the mail for Baylor. Dominic Alexander is the one that has to step in for Corey Nelson, the injured linebacker for Oklahoma. He's one to watch in this game. And then the All-American candidate, Aaron Colvin, a sensational player in the back end. He's a guy Bryce Petty will be looking at all night long.
And with his great offense, Bryce Petty putting up video game type numbers, almost 2,500 passing yards, 18 touchdowns to 1 interception. On first down, they hand off to Lake Seastrunk. And Seastrunk will get a couple of yards. Setting up 2nd and 8, Eric Stryker with a tackle.
Now, this is something I think everybody in this stadium has been anticipating. This is the best defense Baylor has faced all year. Will they be able to do what they've done to other teams to the Sooners? They're hoping Lake Seastrunk can keep that average of 9 yards a carry up.
On 2nd down and 8. Petty taking a shot deep, and that is incomplete. Looking for Tevin Reese. Art Briles was down the sideline. He wanted a flag.
Julian Wilson, the nickelback, was on the coverage. They try a little pick route, trying to get him on the wheel. Art Briles very upset. I thought a good non-call just because it was incidental contact before the pass was thrown.
3rd down and 8. Oklahoma, they talked about some of the keys. Getting off the field on 3rd down. Play clock is down to 4. Petty just gets it off. On 3rd and 8, his pass is incomplete. There is a flag, though, on the far side of the field.
Offside. Defense, number 91. Lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Charles Tapper, number 91, a sophomore from Baltimore.
So now you're facing a 3rd and 3. I know it may be early, but this could be one of those moments that Oklahoma looks back to. It's kept by Petty up the middle, and Petty is very close.
Bryce Petty, big, strong quarterback, not run the ball a lot this year. He went and got that 1st down, and I would expect to see almost everything both these offensive coordinators have in their repertoire tonight. That's the magnitude of this football game.
Already Mike Stoops showing his hand, running a lot of man coverage early.
On 1st down, Petty stays up, able to get rid of it. The pressure applied by the freshman Dominique Alexander.
A little bit of pressure on a 3-step drop. Joel, that's exactly what the Sooners want.
Well, and that's exactly what man coverage forces you to do, is as a quarterback, you have to hold the ball and wait for those windows to pop open down the field, allowing the rush to get there. These secondary players very physical on the outside for Oklahoma.
Hand off to Seastrunk. Lake Seastrunk brings a couple of would-be tacklers up to the 44-yard line, picks up 5. Frank Shannon with the tackle. 3rd and 5 coming up here for Baylor.
Feels like these people are sitting on their hands waiting for this offense to explode like they have all year.
Nervous crowd, there's no doubt.
On 3rd and 5, Petty gets hit and he goes down. Sacked by Quentin Hayes.
Quentin Hayes is going to come from his safety position all the way back deep, and he's going to blitz on a delayed blitz and get to Bryce Petty. Great coverage on the outside. A terrific job of the delayed blitzer, Quentin Hayes, of making sure he had that opening to get to Petty before he fired that blitz.
He kind of picked out that lane like a running back to get to Petty. Wonderful play call by Mike Stoops to get Oklahoma off the field.
Spencer Roth to punt. Jalen Saunders is back deep, standing at his own 25. Fair catch called for, and it's made at the 22-yard line. Oklahoma's defense does the job. Can Blake Bell do the job for the Sooners? He'll take the field in a scoreless game when we come back. No score here in Waco. Petros, how about the impact players this side of the ball?
Damian Williams, one of 3 tailbacks that are very solid for Oklahoma. Gabe Eichert, the most decorated offensive lineman in the country. Sam Hull, playing one of those versatile linebacker safety positions for Baylor. And Ahmad Dixon, same deal.
Brennan Clay splits out. Little reverse to Sterling Shepard. And Shepard is met there right away by Chris McAllister. A loss of 3.
Got to watch the ball handling by Bell. He fakes the pass out, then just the pitch on the end around. But excellent defense, reading their keys and staying home even early, not letting the emotion of the moment get too much of them. Chris McAllister, an excellent defensive play.
A loss of 3 on the play. Second down and 13 coming up. The officials getting together. No flags on the play. Let's see what this is for.
There is no foul on play for holding. You wonder what's talking behind the line of scrimmage.
Blake Bell, 1,300 yards throwing the football. Only 3 interceptions. The one thing that they need him to do tonight, though, run the football. Very successful a year ago, over 70 yards running the ball against Baylor.
He has improved dramatically in the month of October as a passer.
Second and 13. Bell swings it out wide, completes the pass to Jalen Saunders. And Saunders gets hit right away by Sam Hall. A 4-yard pickup, so 3rd and long coming up.
You know, Joel, it's an interesting start. Oklahoma really trying to get out to the perimeter. You would think that they would attack the middle of that Baylor defense because they are the superior physical football team.
Yeah, the one team that had a lot of success running the ball was Kansas State, and it's because they attacked them physically right in the middle of that defense. So I am a little bit perplexed why they came out to the outside early in this ball game.
3rd and 9. The Baylor defense forced a 3 and out. Bell, pressure, gets rid of it. The throw is low, incomplete. Clay could not hang on.
Well, Baylor's going to sell out. They're blitzing. Here comes off the left. They're going to be blitzing, and on a screen pass, this is the worst possible situation to be in as a quarterback when your linemen get caught up in that wash, and you're just having to backpedal back to your own end zone trying to get the ball to your running back. Blake Bell tries to get it up on the chest of Clay, but can't do it.
He might have been better just to throw it at his feet. Make sure it's incomplete because that play was going nowhere.
Oklahoma's defense does its job, its first turn. Now Baylor's defense does its job. Jed Barnett on to punt. Norwood lets it bounce. And this will be down inside the 35. Baylor's offense, everybody knows about them. Over 60 points per game, over 718 yards per game. They will have their second try on the field when we come back. Guys, let's take a look at tonight's Chevy Keys to Success.
Well, Oklahoma, they have to do what they were just unable to do against an improved Bears defense, which is stay on the field, run the clock, eat the clock, and have sustained drive.
I think it's important for Baylor just to be themselves, not get caught up in the atmosphere and the environment. Just go out there and be the offense that you have been all season long. Over 60 points and 700 yards per game. They are good enough to beat Oklahoma.
Seastrunk in the backfield. Bryce Petty in the shotgun. On first down, a fumble on the exchange. Seastrunk trying to make something out of nothing as he gets tackled by Aaron Colvin for a loss of 2. But there is a flag on the play on the near side of the field.
Offside. Defense, number 91, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's Charles Tapper, number 91, right there, the right end. It was just lined up in the neutral zone, and that's the second time Oklahoma's had that on 2 Baylor possessions, and it almost is 3 because they've been really with a credit card alignment on the football so far tonight.
Twice now on Charles Tapper, both times on number 91.
Glasgow Martin in that tailback. They hand off to him up the middle. And Martin gets tackled by Tapper, and Dominique Alexander picks up 3, so 2nd and 2 coming up.
This is what Baylor is doing offensively. Just an unbelievable start to this season. 7-0 for the first time in school history, trying to get to 8-0.
It's Glasgow Martin on the carry. He's got the first down.
Glasgow Martin is a downhill thumping running back, 23 career touchdowns. Nice little changeup from Lake Seastrunk, who's a little more explosive.
On first down, Petty. He'll take the shot. That is incomplete. Antoine Goodley was the closest receiver. Tevin Reese was down the sideline.
And Reese was open. He was wide open. They did the same pick route that they tried on the very first snap of the game, and Reese was open by about 5 yards. Bryce Petty missed him. Remember, this is the first year starting for Bryce Petty. This is the first big environment that he's played in as a starting quarterback in college.
Second down and 10 here for Baylor. Handoff to Martin. Martin, nice tackle by Gino Grissom. A 4-yard run by Martin. They talked about the open field tackling going to be key for the Sooners.
Well, if there's no tackle here by Gino Grissom, that play goes a lot longer, and that is basically the key for Oklahoma all night. Baylor's offense creates space. You have to tackle in space and make them earn it.
3rd and 6. Lake Seastrunk is back in at tailback. Petty with time to the far sideline up top. Caught. Clay Fuller.
They're coming right back to that wheel route, and this time Bryce Petty finds him. Clay Fuller down the sidelines. Quentin Hayes trying to cover up on that. That was just a well-thrown ball, perfectly on the outside.
A 28-yard completion. Little miscommunication on that exchange right there with Petty and Seastrunk. It was kept by Petty, who gets tackled by Shannon. Second down and 10 here for Baylor. Glasgow Martin is back in. On the slant, it's Fuller again. Tackle by Quentin Hayes. Fuller gets 7, so 3rd and 3 coming up.
Joe, you talked about Bryce Petty's inexperience. Seems like he's settling down here with a big 3rd down.
A ball down the field that you throw very accurately will always settle you down as a quarterback.
On 3rd and 3, it's kept by Petty up the middle, and Petty's going to come up about a yard shy, setting up 4th and 1. Shannon and Alexander combine for the tackle, so decision time now for Baylor, and I guess not much thinking needs to go into this one. 4th and 1, never a thought to come off the field. Handoff to Martin up the middle. And it looks like Martin should have the first down.
They come out with an unbalanced line. They add an offensive lineman. This is Kelvin Palmer. He's a tackle lined up as a tight end. They go heavy on the left side. They run on the left side and end up moving the chains.
10th play of the drive coming up here. 1st and 10 from the 14. Handoff, Martin up the middle. Gets brought down by Charles Tapper. Picks up 4.
That's part of the space that this Bears offense creates. They have trips to the bottom, wide. I mean, just wide splits, and then they run the ball the opposite way.
2nd and 6. This time it was read by the defense. Frank Shannon came up and hit Martin hard.
That was the same play.
A loss of 2 on that play. 3rd and 8 coming up. Lake Seastrunk will come back in at tailback, replacing Glasgow Martin. What do you do here on 3rd and 8? What's your play call, Joel?
Got to throw the ball. They've been running pick routes all night long. Clay Fuller has been a target for them all drive long. He's on the inside in the slot.
And now a timeout taken here by Oklahoma. With 7:18 to go here in this first quarter. An unusual drive here by Baylor. 11 plays, 4 minutes. We're not used to seeing this from the Baylor Bears. They usually score in 2 minutes or less. Well, Big East basketball is coming to Fox Sports beginning tomorrow as Boston College takes on Bryce Cotton and the Providence Friars in the season opener for both teams. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. Eastern with Gus Johnson and Bill Raftery on the call on your new home for Big East basketball, Fox Sports 1. A great weekend of college sports here on Fox Sports 1, kicking off tonight with this matchup. Then you got the college basketball tomorrow, and of course more college football games on Saturday. 3rd and 8 though here for the Baylor Bears, trying to strike first in this top 10 matchup. Those guys might be getting cold later. The temperature will drop. 3rd and 8. Petty, pump fake to the end zone. Incomplete. Was looking for Jay Lee. Zach Sanchez there on the coverage.
Zach Sanchez is a guy who's going to get picked on out there because he's been picked on in this game. But good coverage tonight by Oklahoma.
It was
so
excellent
far.
coverage. Texas Tech really picked on Zach Sanchez all night long. He did an excellent job of just maintaining his ground while not interfering with that route. I know Art Browse might feel a little bit differently, but Sanchez, an excellent job. And his real first opportunity there, he's a redshirt freshman from Keller, Texas.
Aaron Jones now on to try for a 29-yard field goal attempt. And that kick is good. So Baylor gets on the board first, but if you're Oklahoma, that's a small victory because it's 3 points, not 7. 3-0, Baylor leading here in the first quarter. Three 3-0 Baylor leading Oklahoma here in the first quarter. An unusual drive. 13 plays, 55 yards, and only 3 points.
That's what the Sooners want. They want the Bears to have to go out there and earn it offensively, and earn it they did. Those 3 points at least here in the first quarter. Now it's up to the Sooner offense to give that defense a rest, hold the ball, take some air out of it.
But the most critical part, the 3 points. You know, it wasn't 4 minutes and then a touchdown. 4 minutes and then forcing them to kick a field goal. Excellent job by Oklahoma. Mike Stoops is going to be ecstatic with his defense after the last series.
Aaron Jones to kick off for Baylor. A high, short kick. Brennan Clay takes from 21. Clay trying to get to the outside. And Clay will be brought down as he crosses the 35 up to 37. A 16-yard return. Orion Stewart with a tackle. Well, this series history, it has basically been all Oklahoma. One loss. The only loss was a couple years ago here in Waco when RG3 really made his case for the Heisman Trophy.
That's probably the moment that Baylor football turned around. That is why the gravity of this game for Baylor, with a team like the Mystique of Oklahoma coming here, is so heavy.
Yeah, and because it's on the line for Baylor now as well. They're not just a team trying to fight to get bowl eligible like they have been in the past. This is a team with true national championship hopes on the line here tonight against the perennial Big 12 power.
On first down, it's kept by Bell. It's Trevor Knight who's actually in. Trevor Knight, his first snap of the night. And he picks up 9.
The starter to begin the season, Trevor Knight, got pulled after a couple of games, got banged up. Blake Bell came in, had a historic debut against Tulsa with 400-plus yards passing, the most in the debut of any Sooner of all time. But now Knight getting a chance, obviously, to showcase his legs in the run game.
Second down and 1. Damian Williams in the backfield. He splits out. Knight will run it again. And Knight gets shoved out of bounds. Let's see where they mark him out. It looks like the 46. KJ Moore and Eddie Lackey combined for the tackle. 3rd and 1 coming up.
You know, 3rd and 1, that's normally the Belldozer time. And guess who's jogging off the sidelines? Number 10, Blake Bell. Short yardage situations the last couple of years. It's been all one player for Oklahoma. Number 10, Blake Bell.
These fans making some noise here on 3rd and 1. Bell will run it. And Bell gets taken down for a loss. Ahmad Dixon.
Well, you were right about Blake Bell. They tried to go Belldozer. It's a slow developing run play. Oklahoma does have an extra guy, but Ahmad Dixon, like a heat-seeking missile, comes in and makes a play on the big quarterback, tackling him at the hips, not the upper body, at the hips to make sure he brought him down. Great play by Baylor.
Jed Barnett on to punt. The second 3-and-out forced by Baylor's defense. Norwood lets it sail over his head. This will go into the end zone for a touchback. Everyone talks about Baylor's offense. Their defense starting to get some respect. making a big stop on 3rd and 1. They'll have the ball at 20, leading 3-0. An uncharacteristic start here for Baylor, leading 3-0 with 5:09 to go, but really no big plays from the Bears yet.
No, they've run 18 plays. Only one has gained more than 7 yards. That was a 28-yard catch for Fuller. They're averaging 9 yards per play, more than 9 yards per play. So Oklahoma so far, like you said, Joel, doing a great job defensively, recognizing what the Bears want to do. But their offense with the 3 and outs is hurting them.
That man coverage on the outside. Oklahoma's one of the few teams that can match up athletically on the outside with Baylor. That's a big reason why their defense has been able to have success so far in this game.
Lake Seastrunk on 1st down gets the handoff, tries to cut it back. Seastrunk picks up a few yards, setting up 2nd down. Let's check back in with Christina Pink.
Well, speaking of the running game, Glasgow Martin is back in the Bears locker room, a little banged up there, taking a look at his right knee. Left the game, the training staff taking a look at Martin's right knee. Justin?
All right, thanks for Christina.
Offense, number 77, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
False start against Kelvin Palmer.
Exactly what you need if you're Oklahoma. Now you've got room to take chances. A lot of things at Mike Stoops' disposal now. Art Briles can't be happy with the way his offense has opened up this game.
Second and 13 here for Baylor. Petty down the field over the middle, and that was nearly picked off by Gabe Lynn. Intended for Tevin Reese.
Gabe Lynn's the one that makes the play on the ball, but it's actually Julian Wilson, the nickelback, who is running step for step down the field with Tevin Reese. Excellent coverage, forcing Petty to throw that ball actually where he didn't want to, closer to the safety, and Lynn was the one almost making the interception.
So now 3rd and 12 here for Baylor. Empty backfield as Seastrunk goes in motion. Play clock is down to 4, and a timeout will be taken here by Baylor. All right, it's obvious that this Baylor offense right now seems confused by Oklahoma's defense.
A little bit stunned right now with the way that they've started the game. Remember, when you're used to touching the field and averaging 9 yards per play, this kind of thing can be confidence hurting, especially when you're playing at home. So Baylor's got to overcome the adversity that Oklahoma's defense has thrown at them, and this is a big 3rd down opportunity, which is why I believe they called the timeout.
The whole offense for Baylor is predicated on space. That's why they take such wide splits with their wide receivers. They're banking on the fact that you're going to play zone coverage because they have better athletes than you. The problem is Oklahoma, excellent in the secondary. Very good players out there like Aaron Colvin, and they can match up man-to-man, which keeps the run integrity of the defense in the middle of the field.
One of the keys to the game, Joel was talking about it, is be yourself. Well, it's hard to be yourself against guys like Gabe Lynn, who are the best players that Baylor has faced this year. So far, this Oklahoma secondary is up to the task of guarding a lot of these guys man-to-man and one-on-one.
And they're being allowed to play physical as well.
Shock Linwood is now in. Lake Seastrunk is out. 3rd and 12. Petty forced out of the pocket. On the run, throws, and he completes it to Corey Coleman, but there is a flag on the play. Julian Wilson with a tackle, a 15-yard completion.
I got a feeling he was out of bounds and came back in this because there's no hat on the official. That's the telltale sign. He's going to drop his hat if the wide receiver left the field to play.
2 guys hatless there.
Illegal touching. Offense number 1. The receiver went out of bounds on his own and was the first to touch. Lost it down at the previous spot. 4th down.
You were talking about them allowing Oklahoma to play physical with Baylor. That's nice and physical on the edge. And Corey Coleman against Julian Wilson goes out of bounds.
And he wasn't forced out of bounds either. Basically on his own volition, the hat comes off. illegal touching, and Oklahoma again now gets off the field. Very quality first quarter for this Oklahoma defense.
Maybe a little elbow there. Maybe a little
chicken wing.
Spencer Roth to punt from his own 4-yard line. Jalen Saunders just beyond midfield as he gets driven back. Good punt taken at the 30. Good coverage as well on special teams. Saunders is down the 29-yard line. Levi Norwood with a special teams tackle after a 53-yard punt. This Oklahoma Sooners team, preseason number 16 in the AP poll, lost in that Red River rivalry to Texas. The only loss on the season. And after 2 straight wins, they're in the top 10 here in the BCS. And here coming out for the quarterback position will be Blake Bell in his 3rd series.
Really kind of just looks exactly like every other Oklahoma season under Bob Stoops.
Quality.
On first down, the handoff is to Williams, and Williams got crunched. Eddie Lackey.
Also, Ahmad Dixon, number 6. Watch this flow. No lineman for Oklahoma on the second level. That means those defensive tackles doing a heck of a job. Blackshear, Musumbuku, these guys up there taking up 2 gaps, taking up 2 players, allowing their fast linebackers to flow over the top.
Damian Williams and Roy Finch in the backfield on 2nd down and 9. Williams splits out. Bell swings it out to him. And a good tackle by Dimitri Goodson after a pickup of 6.
You know, you can only stand in the ocean for so long with the waves hitting you before you go under. And that's what the Oklahoma defense is going through right now. The Oklahoma offense cannot have another 3 and out and give the ball back.
Well, Phil Bennett's done a heck of a job with this defense for Baylor. You look at them, number 1 scoring defense in the league, 6th in the country. They get overshadowed by one of the most explosive offenses we've ever seen. But this defense does a heck of a job.
3rd and 3. Play clock is down to 5. Bell hands off to Clay. Clay, a flag on the play, is short of the first down. Ahmad Dixon with another big tackle.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Defense number 2. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Sean Oakman, number 2. He's the guy that's going to get called for this, working against the left tackle, Tyrus Thompson, number 71. See, the hand gets up there, the helmet gets knocked off, and a critical mistake for Baylor, moving the chains and keeping this Sooners offense on the field.
The first down of the game for Oklahoma. And Sean Oakman is a big kid, 6'9", 275. Four wide receivers in here on first down. Clay in the backfield. Handoff to Clay up the middle. And Clay gets a yard, tackled by Eddie Lackey, his 3rd tackle of this quarter.
Not that they've had a lot of success doing it so far. Oklahoma's had almost no success offensively in this game, save that penalty that kept them on the field. But I like the way they're continuing to pound the ball, at least on this series, between the tackles. I think that's where Baylor is the weakest, and that's where Oklahoma can make the most hay, at least here in the first half.
2nd down and 9. It's kept by Bell. Bell gets spun around, and he is tackled at the 45, Bo Blackshear. Third and 7.
And an obvious down situation. Bell from the pocket has to make a throw here.
11 plays have been run by Oklahoma, 21 total yards. On 3rd and 7. Bell with time. Steps up, throws, and he completes the pass to Sterling Shepard, who drops the ball. The flag comes out, And this is not going to be pretty. K.J. Morton with the hit, and Shepard is down.
Obviously, you're going to get a targeting penalty here. K.J. Morton just waiting for him.
Remember the targeting penalty. It doesn't have to be the crown of your helmet as a defender, but also if you go high to the neck or head area of a defenseless receiver with any part of your body, that'll draw the targeting penalty out. Granted, they will probably review this, but right now the Oklahoma staff attending to Shepard, who's still on the field.
K.J. Morton, too, took a little bit of that. And I think what's going to hurt him as they look at it is that he really followed through with his forearm to the head.
Sterling Shepard, the player, down. Shepard, a sophomore out of Oklahoma City.
Shepard's such a great story. He wears number 3 to honor his late father, who played wide receiver at the University of Oklahoma back in 1983.
The result of the play was an incomplete pass. Personal foul, targeting, defense, number 8. That's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down. Number 8 is disqualified. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 6. That penalty being enforced half the distance. Also after the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 6 defense, taking his helmet off. That's half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Ron Dixon with 2 penalties against him. The targeting, of course, on K.J. Morton. Here it is again. Pretty easy call within the context of the rules that we have this year, which have not changed. The ejection now is the new part of the rule.
6 is Ahmad Dixon. He's the one that gathered the 2 dead ball penalties after the targeting penalty, going to move Oklahoma all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
And now great concern on both sidelines and in the crowd for Jalen Saunders. Pardon me, Sterling Shepard.
They had brought the golf cart out for Sterling Shepard. As Joel was saying, just such a good story and a good kid. It's good to see him sitting up. That's the first time I've seen targeting this year where it hasn't been the helmet to the helmet.
2 types of targeting. Both result in the ejection. K.J. Morton, the senior from Warner Robins, Georgia. K.J. Morton's going to stay in the game. They reviewed the ejection. Of course, that's the only part of the penalty that can be reviewed. They reviewed it and said that the contact was shoulder to shoulder and not to the head or neck area. Mike Pereira, our rules expert, is on the phone from home watching the game. Mike Pereira, what did you think of the call and K.J. Morton staying in this ballgame?
You know, Joel, I think it's a hit on a defenseless receiver, but to me, it is shoulder to shoulder by the neck area, but I do like the fact that they try to keep people in the game. He didn't lower the crown of his helmet, and I think the bulk of the contact, the most contact was shoulder to shoulder, and I like that they left him in the game.
I thought the follow through with the forearm would leave it how it was. The officials seeing it differently, just like Mike Pereira, leaving him in the game.
But, you know, that's like a concussion move with the forward after the contact when the shoulder or the forearm comes forward. I just don't think it was one of those where he hit with the crown. Yes, it was a tough hit, and yes, I like the foul for a hit on a defenseless receiver. But, again, I do like that the bulk of that contact was really pretty much on the top of the shoulder, really almost all shoulder to shoulder.
All right, thanks, Mike. You'll be with us all night. Hopefully we won't have to check in too often. Second down and goal here. Trevor Knight is now in at quarterback, and a flag is thrown.
Illegal substitution, offense, 12 in formation, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Got to be honest, guys. I mean, obviously, all those penalties against Ahmad Dixon would set up this first and goal, but a fairly sloppy first quarter.
Tends to happen when you got this much of an environment, this much expectation and excitement around the game. You got to settle in and allow those motions to fade away and just play football.
That's the end of the first quarter. Baylor leading 3-0. Fox College Football will continue after these messages. Phil Bennett's defense has done the job so far, but now he's facing second and goal against Oklahoma.
Critical downs right now, critical series for Oklahoma, because I would categorize this whole first quarter as a win for OU. Their defense, they've held the score to 3-0 against a prolific offense, but now it's time for their offense, which has got some breaks of some penalties, to capitalize, and they've got to punch this one in the end zone.
And Phil Bennett, a guy who has coached all over college football in every major conference except for the Pac-12, his defense was nothing short of sensational in the first quarter. I mean, they also got a win in the first quarter, and the only success Oklahoma has had is because of those penalties you just referenced.
Yeah, lots of speed at the second level. Those linebackers have really done a great job. Eddie Lackey, Bryce Hager, Sam Hull, the nickelback, running through the offensive line and making sure that they're short tacklers in space. Baylor's defense is for real.
And Oklahoma's almost done nothing down the field yet in this game. Baylor just with the one big play that set up the field goal.
And by the way, when we saw that illegal substitution, that was after the quarter had expired, so there was no penalty. So it's second and goal from the 7 with Trevor Knight in at quarterback. Brennan Clay, the tailback. It's kept by Knight, and Knight will get tackled at the 2-yard line. Sam Hall in third and goal from the 2 here for the Sooners. The Belldozer will come back in, facing third and goal from the 2. Damian Williams in at tailback. Play clock is down to 4, a late entry, and a timeout will be called here for Oklahoma. And Bob Stoops not happy with that. Time for tonight's Lincoln stat comparison from the first quarter. Those penalty yards were huge for Baylor.
The offense for Oklahoma not getting it done, obviously. 20 total yards. Baylor's offense, slow going. Defenses, both sides, wins in the first quarter. Both sides playing excellent in space, and especially the ability to tackle.
You know, that substitution problem that caused Oklahoma to call a timeout might have something to do with the platooning quarterbacks, you know?
And also, let's reset, and Trey Millard is not here. He's their best player offensively, and he's the reason that they never have to substitute. He's the reason that they can get into any formation that they want because he was a fullback. Now his knee is torn up, and they're having to run more guys on the field. He's the guy on the right, obviously. And they're getting caught in those substitution areas.
Extra offensive lineman is in. Casatani. Third and goal for the 2. Bell, the quarterback run, and Bell, he gets stuffed. Ahmad Dixon.
They're going to have to go for it. You cannot settle for field goals at this point. They're going to go quickly.
4th and goal from the 1. Bell again gets stopped. What a job by the defense. K.J. Morton, who was ejected and then they brought him back because it wasn't a targeting, is the one who makes the stop.
2 stops. First on 3rd down, Blake Bell trying to do this delayed power play. They pull the guard, and he gets stopped at about the half-yard line. Then on 4th down, Petros, again, the run-through from the 2nd level, and the offensive line for Oklahoma cannot handle it.
Phil Bennett loves it. His defense stepping up. Not only did they win the first quarter for him, they won that drive. Huge stop, and still the Baylor defense and the Oklahoma defense, they've been the stars of this football game thus far. And I know it's a numbers thing, but those slow developing short yardage plays with Blake Bell just not making the same progress that they were in the past.
On 1st down, a shot. Linwood, did he get out? He did. Chuka and Dulé with the tackle. It's a loss of 1.
This was awful close. Did get out of the end zone. That was clear, but excellent job by that front for Oklahoma.
When you have an offense like Baylor's that's predicated on space and spreading out the field, this could be the hardest part of the field for them to operate out of, coming out of their own end zone.
From their end zone, Petty from behind, he gets sacked for the safety. Dominique Alexander, the true freshman.
Too slow. Max protection. 2 wide receivers in the route. They're trying to run a big crossing route with a wheel route down the sidelines, and you just can't do that from your own end zone. The protection will never hold up, and it didn't for Bryce Petty, sacked in his own end zone.
It's what we talked about coming in. It's all about the defense. Dominique Alexander, that true freshman, comes up with that huge sack for the safety.
Well, he is replacing the captain, Corey Nelson, and 2 guys with an opportunity to block Alexander. Neither picks him up. Corey Nelson loves it.
Well, Corey Nelson's obviously the linebacker that Alexander is playing for. Nelson tore his pec. He's out for the year, a senior from Dallas. Dominique Alexander, a true freshman who they really like, but now forced to play because of that injury.
And Alexander has stepped up and has gotten better and better as the season has gone along. 19 tackles, had the game of his life versus Texas in the Red River rivalry.
Spencer Roth will punt now after the safety. Jalen Saunders is back at the 25. Saunders from the 34. Saunders has a hole down the sideline. Saunders finally gets taken down inside the 15.
Great blocking here, the way they set it up, setting up a nice tunnel. Connor Knight, number 89, with a wonderful block right there, and you see that beautiful hole for Saunders to take it in. A punt returner, very comfortable in that safety return situation.
But now Oklahoma has got to try to find the end zone. They have not been able to take advantage of any of these miscues, and Baylor's defense has just been sensational, now backed up against their own goal line once again.
Really struggled in short yardage situations.
A 55-yard return. Trevor Knight is now in at quarterback. On 1st down, it's kept by Knight, trying to get outside, and he gets shoved out by Ahmad Dixon.
Part of the reason I think we're seeing so much Trevor Knight in this game, it's been the wrinkle for Oklahoma. I think Blake Bell, a good runner with the football, they don't want to risk him running that much, and they want to run the quarterback.
He's not quite as explosive either as Trevor Knight. Trevor Knight is doing a lot of the zone read on the outside. Bell is handling everything in between the tackles.
So is that then predictable for this Baylor defense?
It can get predictable. You got to change it up, change that wrinkle.
2nd and 7. It's Bell in at quarterback. Bell to pass. He completes the pass to Jalen Saunders, who gets spun out by Terrell Burt, picks up 4.
Burt, one of the fastest players on this Baylor team, an excellent safety. He was the anchor leg of his high school 4x100 relay team. Competed for the state championships here in the state of Texas. But this Baylor defense, again, another opportunity on 3rd down.
3rd and 3. Bell to pass, and that is incomplete. Was looking for Saunders. Burt was there on the coverage.
Another problem in short yardage for Oklahoma. This was a long way to ask Blake Bell to throw it.
And how about the speed of Burt? I just told you he was a track star, and he shows it on that play. No space for Blake Bell to throw that ball in an out route in such confined quarters near the goal line. Saunders, an inability to get away from Burt.
Now Michael Honeycutt on for a 22-yard field goal attempt. That is good. And with that, Oklahoma has the lead here in this one, 5-3. It was all set up on a 55-yard return by Jalen Saunders. 5-3. Oklahoma on top of Baylor. Weird score. The offense for Oklahoma has not been able to do anything, yet they lead here by 2 points, 5-3.
No first downs by rush or pass for the Sooners, and they wanted to control the ball in this game, and that's on their first 4 drives. All 4 of their first downs have come from penalties.
Not the start that I think anybody had anticipated for this game. Nick Hodgson will kick off for Oklahoma. Corey Coleman from the 5. Coleman, he gets the outside. Coleman with a good run back as he's across midfield. All the way down to the 45 of Oklahoma. Nick Hodgson, the kicker, with a tackle.
And exactly what Baylor's offense needed. A little spark, some field position to get them going. Coverage unit for Oklahoma overruns their lanes. Easy return for Baylor across the 50-yard line. Excellent job there by the return man.
We saw a 55-yard return by Saunders, and now we get a 50-yard return. And it's 1st and 10 from the 45 of Oklahoma with Seastrunk in at tailback. Kept by Petty. And Petty gets tackled by the shoe by Frank Shannon after he picks up 3.
I feel like both offenses thought they would catch the defense off guard by running the quarterback more in this game.
2nd down and 7. Petty, the quick pass is complete to Goodley. He was down, the tackle by Aaron Colvin, and that's a good tackle. A 4-yard pickup, 3rd and short coming up. And much like we talked about Oklahoma's offense needing to do something, Baylor needs to get a first down here. It's Seastrunk up the middle. And Seastrunk, he will have the first down.
Watch this cut in the hole. Even on 3rd down, within the line of scrimmage, able to get back to his left. Watch how Seastrunk right here sees the cutback lane and gets all the way back. Great vision from a guy who a lot of people have in their Heisman Trophy list. But Seastrunk's still down on the ground.
Blake Seastrunk. He's writhing in pain. The star running back for this Baylor team, the transfer from Oregon.
Remember earlier, Christina told us Glasgow Martin was getting looked at. He's the backup running back, number 8. That would leave Shock Linwood and Devin Chafin as the running backs for Baylor. Depending on what is going on with Lake Seastrunk, Linwood, a redshirt freshman. Chafin, a redshirt freshman as well.
Let's watch the end of the play here. Lake Seastrunk trying to get all the way over to that hole. And that ankle gets rolled up. That left ankle gets rolled up. And that's what he's reacting to.
This place is awfully quiet, but now they applaud as Seastrunk's able to get up 5-3, Oklahoma.
Lake Seastrunk trying to get loose on the sidelines. Go back to the play that he had to come out of the ball game. He's going to get in there and make the cut. Got the first down, but watch his right leg when he makes the cut. He's actually going to give right here, right there. Watch his right leg. He's going to leave it back there. That's where he got hurt, and that's what they're working on the sidelines.
That pass by Petty was knocked down by Charles Tapper.
Tapper, no stranger to that, an elite hoopster in Baltimore's AAU circuit. Great anticipation there, getting up and batting it down.
2nd down and 10. Linwood is in at tailback. He takes the handoff, and Linwood tries to dive forward, gets up to the 31. Tackled by Gabe Lynn. 3rd and 7 coming up. Petty stepping up, pressured, and Petty goes down again. Eric Stryker with a sack. A loss of 5.
Check out Stryker all the way on this side, and he's just going to come all the way around and loop around. Watch this hustle. This is what a motor is all about. Comes all the way. Now he's going to get to the quarterback. Great job by Stryker.
He did it on Spencer Drango, a freshman All-American from last year, and that's the speed and athleticism of Oklahoma that, frankly, Baylor's not seen yet this year.
Aaron Jones on for a 52-yard field goal attempt. That would be a new long. And the kick, that is no good. Another defensive stand by Bob Stoops in Oklahoma.
The defenses are winning the day. Not quite enough. Wide left. Oklahoma ball.
A fired up Bob Stoops. Art Briles kind of in shock. Just 96 total yards of offense combined in this game. And we have more flags. False start.
False start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Darrell Williams, number 79. Redshirt junior from Lake Dallas. He started all the games this season, 8 of them at right tackle. Just got started a little bit too quickly. And against this defense, this is not a defense you want to start at 1st and 15. They've been too dominant and too fast.
Any kind of penalty, even the 5-yard variety, a big problem for both offenses with the way they perform.
Roy Finch is in at tailback. He's that jitterbug type for Oklahoma. Play clock is down to 2. Bell did not get it off in time. Unbelievable.
Prior to snap, delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's one of the hard parts of being in the shotgun on every snap is as a quarterback, you can't control the actual snap of the football with your cadence. You're relying on your center who oftentimes cannot see the play clock.
We've had almost as many penalty yards as total yards in this game so far. On 1st and 20. The handoff is to Finch. Got tackled immediately by Eddie Lackey, his 5th tackle of the game. We've had a couple of injuries already. For more on those, let's check back in with Christina Pink.
Justin, a couple of updates on the injured guy. Seastrunk is okay. Came off the field holding his groin, but ran up and down the field, tried to keep it loose and get it stretched out. Should be back on the next series. As for the Sooners, Sterling Shepard had his head and neck checked out on the sideline. Looked like they administered a concussion test. They did take his helmet, so it's unlikely he'll return.
All right, thanks, Christina. 2nd down and 19 here for Oklahoma. Bell to pass, and Bell's pass is complete to Jalen Saunders. Saunders all the way up to the 46 of Baylor, a 28-yard completion.
This is the difference in Blake Bell in the last month, Joel.
Yeah, and the corner is down. That's an easy read for the quarterback, and Blake Bell does an excellent job of getting it outside to that far corner route. What an excellent route there by Jalen Saunders, getting behind the defense, but Blake Bell with his best ball by far of the day.
28 yards on that play. They had 33 total yards the previous 19 plays. Play action. Bell overthrows his open receiver, but a flag comes in. That's going to go against Dimitri Goodson.
Over aggressiveness from the Bear defense. They've been great all night, but they've hurt themselves with penalties. I just don't understand that.
After the play, personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, defense, number 3. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Goodson left his feet.
There's just no reason. The ball clearly not in play. Well over the head of Jalen Saunders. He's looking back 2 steps, then hitting him. He's in a defenseless position. Just an ill-advised play from Baylor.
Another first down given to Oklahoma because of a Baylor penalty. Brennan Clay in at tailback. Don't adjust your screen. The score is right, 5-3. Bell, pressure. Gets rid of it over the middle. Incomplete. Was looking again to Saunders. The pressure applied by Eddie Lackey.
Phil Bennett told us yesterday that his defense wanted to match the physicality of the Oklahoma offense. And so far in this game, you have to say they've done absolutely that. But over-aggressiveness has hurt them, like we talked about with penalties. But, man, did Blake Bell take a hit there.
Yeah, Blackshear is the one that forced him to step up, number 95. And then number 5, Eddie Lackey, came up, and he really laid the wood on Blake Bell.
Second down and 10. Bell throws incomplete. That time to Deron Neal. The pressure again applied by Eddie Lackey.
Excellent coverage there from Baylor as well.
Just seems like neither of these offenses, or teams for that matter, can generate or keep momentum.
Neither quarterback has settled in. Neither quarterback has a rhythm. It's a quarterback-driven game, and we're seeing the effects of that here tonight.
Third down and 10. Bell going to the end zone, incomplete. Looking for Jazz Reynolds, but a flag is down in the backfield.
Holding. Offense, number 71. That penalty's declined. Fourth down.
Fourth down coming up.
I don't know why they didn't take the penalty there.
Yeah.
That would have forced them into a much longer field goal opportunity. Granted, it would have still been third down, but now forcing Honeycutt to kick this one. Be a 48-yarder.
His long on the season is 44. This is from 48. And that kick is no good. A defensive battle here in Waco.
This Baylor defense gets no credit nationally. Everyone talking about during the course of the week how their numbers may be a mirage, and there's no way they're as good as the numbers that they're putting up as the number 1 scoring defense in the league, number 2 total defense in the league, number 6 pass defense nationally. And guess what? They're proving tonight that this defense is for real, keeping them in this ball game while their explosive offense tries to get to its footing.
Let me ask this question, because both offenses haven't done anything yet. Is it great defense or is it bad offense right now?
I think you got 2 shocked coaches on the sidelines, and I think it's a little bit of both.
Linwood in at tailback. He gets the handoff, and Linwood breaks one. Shock Linwood across midfield up to the 49 of Oklahoma, a 20-yard run.
Finally, some of the space created by the Baylor offense that we've been talking about. Nice block by Cyril Richardson to spring him.
Petty throws the slant and completes it to Antoine Goodley. And a flag is down in the backfield.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 19. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Eric Stryker's going to come from the right side of the defense, left side of the offense. He comes absolutely free, and he's going to hit Bryce Petty. Ooh, I don't know about that. That's an awful ticky-tack call from the officials on Eric Stryker. It wasn't late and it wasn't high. I have no idea why that flag was thrown.
A good break for Baylor. Petty on the zone read. Petty tries to cut to the outside. And Petty is down inside the 10, tackled by Quentin Hayes. Marked down at the 7.
Now Baylor is creating their own momentum. Let's see if they can follow it. This is a called run for Petty. It was blocked very well. And look how that big guy gets out to the edge and has a nose for the end zone.
Handoff to Linwood. Linwood up the middle for a couple yards.
I've been impressed with Bryce Petty's running ability in this game so far. 6'3", 230-pound junior. Really nice forward lean when he decides to tuck it.
Mike Stoops, the defensive coordinator for Oklahoma, looking on. 2nd and goal from the 5. It's kept by Petty. Dives to the end zone. Touchdown!
They create the space with the running back, Shock Linwood, moving to the left. And Bryce Petty, at 230 pounds, only needs a little crease. Great forward lean, gets it into the end zone.
Aaron Jones on for the extra point. The 7th rushing touchdown of the year for Bryce Petty. From 5 yards out. He did it on this drive with his legs. Mike Stoops not happy as his team now trails by 5. 10-5 Baylor. Bryce Petty with that 5-yard touchdown run. Finally got into the end zone. 5 plays, 69 yards in 1:14 and maybe woke up this Baylor team, at least offensively, and this crowd here at Floyd Casey Stadium.
Looks like all the red shirts getting it cracking on the sideline, trying to get some emotion going. Finally, a team was able to capitalize on their own momentum.
Here on this blackout night, Aaron Jones will kick off. Brennan Clay from the 4. Clay up the middle. And Brennan Clay will get up to the 25-yard line. A 21-yard return. Here comes this Oklahoma offense, which has not been able to do anything.
Well, it's become because of the aggressiveness for Baylor. Baylor's linebackers has made it way too difficult for Oklahoma to run the football, and that's been very apparent. Their defensive line is covering up those offensive linemen. The double teams aren't allowed to get up to the second level. Lackey, Hager, Sam Hull, they've been tremendous. So it's time for Oklahoma. If you want to move the football, cut loose Blake Bell. You got to start throwing the football down the field.
Damian Williams in the backfield. Bell on first down throws, and he completes that pass. Nice move by Saunders, makes a couple of guys miss, and picks up a first down after 12 yards.
Saunders, a great job with his upper body of breaking that tackle of Burt. And that's really a positive play for Oklahoma on first down.
Damian Williams on the handoff. He slips a tackle in the backfield. And Williams gets a couple of positive yards. Sam Hall with a tackle.
I think you agree with me, Joel, that Oklahoma's got to continue to try running inside because they're going to need that if they're going to go forward winning this game in the second half.
You know, at this point, I think they've got to throw the ball in order to open up that run. It's gotten to that point where they're going to need to get the safeties out of that run box. Blake Bell's arm is going to be the ultimate for Oklahoma if they're going to try to run the football later in this game.
2nd down and 8. They swing it out to Williams. And Williams up to the 45, picks up 6. Terrell Burt with his 3rd tackle of the night. All right, here we go again. 3rd down and 2. We've seen Baylor come up with defensive stop after defensive stop. Brennan Clay is in at tailback. Bell under center. Handoff to Clay, who has the 1st down. And Clay gets tackled by Ahmad Dixon after he picks up 9.
Big open field tackle by Dixon, and I really like that they were under center for this short yardage play, Joel.
And Aaron Ripkowski, number 48, the fullback. Now he's in for Trey Miller, and guess what? Chops him down on the edge. Excellent block by the fullback.
Play action. Bell just trying to buy time, and he will throw this one out of bounds wisely. The pressure applied by Bryce Hager. Joel, you mentioned the block by Ripkowski. How much do you think the absence of Millard has affected Oklahoma in this game so far?
Greatly. He's their best player on either side of the ball. Trey Millard is a surefire NFL guy. He's a hybrid type, can play H-back, fullback, split out and play in the slot. He's an excellent player, and they're missing him here tonight.
2nd down and 10. Play clock is down to 5. And a timeout will be called before the snap by Oklahoma.
Oklahoma takes their 3rd and final timeout of the half.
So with 5:05 to go, Oklahoma takes its final timeout of this first half. And Saturday, UFC Fight Night returns to Fox Sports 1 with an explosive light heavyweight showdown between 2 UFC legends as Vitor Belfort takes on Dan Henderson. UFC Fight Night coverage starts Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern only on Fox Sports 1.
You know, for a team that's been in this kind of environment constantly because of who they are, there's Lake Seastrom looking relatively healthy there on the sideline. But you think about Oklahoma and all the big games that they've played in, their offense does not look like they have been in this type of environment this year. A lot of trouble getting plays off and a lot of timeouts, a lot of delay of games, penalties of just lining up, a lot of sloppiness for the Sooners on them.
Well, because of Trey Miller, they normally don't have to substitute this much. And so with players running in and out of the game, it presents some of those problems. But I don't want to create any excuses for this Oklahoma offense because the Baylor defense has been absolutely terrific during the course of this game.
They've been great, and they've maybe forced some unforced errors.
Neither team doing much offensively. Obviously, when the score is 10-5. 2nd and 10. Bell stepping up over the middle, throws, and that one is incomplete. Dimitri Goodson on the coverage. Deron Neal, the intended receiver.
What a gutsy route to the football by Goodson, taking that underneath route and really getting after the ball, almost intercepted.
A confident defensive back makes that play. You see guys that aren't as secure with their coverage ability, and they'll sit back, allow that ball to be caught, and then tackle the ball carrier. But Goodson, an excellent play on the football.
3rd and 10. Bell on the slant completes the pass to Bester. But Bester gets wrapped up by K.J. Morton, picks up 5, so 4th and 5.
I love what Phil Bennett, the defensive coordinator, does there. A long yardage situation. Watch the blitz come on Blake Bell. That's going to force him to utilize his hot route and throw the ball before he wants to. Short of the sticks, and then it's all about rallying up and making an open field tackle. That is trust from Phil Bennett and his secondary players that they're going to be there to make that tackle. Excellent call.
Jed Barnett on to punt. Levi Norwood at his 10-yard line. And this will be down at the 7-yard line. 4:13 to go here in the second quarter. 10-5 Baylor leading Oklahoma. Let's check in with Rob Stone on what's coming up on the Pizza Hut halftime.
Coming up on the Pizza Hut halftime report, we had extensive plans to preview the weekend. Scratch that. It is almost entirely Baylor, Oklahoma, with a little taste of Oregon, Stanford. We'll see you at the break.
This really is an amazing Thursday night in college football. The best Thursday night in the history of college football, I think it's fair to say.
I think Baylor's playing the best defense they may have played in the history of their program. 4 straight drives now for Oklahoma that have gone into plus territory. All 4 of those drives produced a total of 3 points.
And off to Linwood on first down. And Shock Linwood will get a yard. 2nd down and 9. Justin Kutcher alongside Joel Clapp, Petros Papadakis, and Christina Pink. Corey Coleman in motion. Petty stepping up, taking a shot down the sideline. That's incomplete. Was looking for Antoine Goodley. Aaron Colvin step for step with him.
They've not been running free, the Baylor receivers, all night. Great coverage again by the Oklahoma secondary, and that's their best player, Aaron Colvin.
I've talked to a few NFL scouts about Aaron Colvin. They said this guy has great next level of potential. And it's because of what we just saw, his coverage ability down the field. Aaron Colvin, one of the best in the country.
3rd and 9. Flags, free play here for Baylor. And that one is knocked away by Quentin Hayes. Clay Fuller, the intended receiver.
Offside. Defense, number 19, in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
3rd one.
Eric Stryker's trying to time up that blitz. Blitzing right in the A gap, which is the gap directly to the side of the center. Stryker just got caught in the neutral zone.
Now it's 3rd and 4. Petty's pass to Antoine Goodley is complete. That forward progress enough for the 1st down despite the good hit by Aaron Colvin.
Another opportunity wasted for the Sooners to get off the field. Defensive penalties have been at a premium for both sides.
Hand off to Linwood. And Linwood, still on his feet, gets the 1st down. Quentin Hayes brings him down. Initially, it looked like Frank Shannon may have gotten him by the foot.
Frank Shannon, number 20, was the one chasing him down. And Linwood stays on his feet. Excellent balance from Linwood. What a stable of backs this Baylor squad has, from Seastrunk to Martin. And now the 3rd stringer, Shock Linwood, a redshirt freshman, keeping his balance along the sidelines.
What we haven't seen yet from Baylor, and granted there's no rhythm, they're not going that up-tempo that we're used to seeing. Petty throws it, and there's the flag. Gabe Lynn on the coverage. Tevin Reese, the intended receiver, he threw it short, and Reese couldn't get back there with Gabe Lynn interfering.
Pass interference. Defense, number 9. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. 1st down.
Tevin Reese trying to take, as they say, the top off of this Oklahoma defense. Joel, I learned that from you. But Oklahoma's just there.
Well, sometimes you're just a victim of a poor play on the other side. Bryce Petty won the flag. Well, he wants it because he severely underthrew that ball. It's actually what drew the contact from Lynn.
Hand off to Linwood. He gets tackled by Gino Grissom. Picks up a yard. 2nd down and 9 with under 2.5 to play here in this first half. 10-5, Baylor leading Oklahoma. Petty, his pass, the slant, caught by Levi Norwood. And Norwood is spun down at the 14-yard line by Julian Wilson. A 39-yard completion.
Missed tackles in space against a team like Baylor will absolutely haunt you right there. The Oklahoma defender right there at the point of contact as far as the catch, but can't bring him down.
Kept by Petty. Petty can't slip that tackle of Dominique Alexander.
Petty was going to go. That's how important those tackles in the open field are. Alexander that time hanging on for dear life to a big physical quarterback who's run the ball very well here in the second quarter in Bryce Petty.
2nd down and 9. Just got word that Tevin Reese has left the game for Baylor. We'll check in with Christina in a moment about that. Petty on the slants. Again, it's Norwood. And Norwood is down at the 1. There are a couple of flags on the field.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 10, half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
What an excellent route concept. You're going to get a slant here and then just a skinnier slant from the slot receiver. And that's Levi Norwood. And clearing out that zone, even though it's man coverage, you're clearing out the space. And then at the end, Baylor gets benefited from this face mask, even though they would have already had a 1st and goal from the 1-yard line.
Petty on the keeper, gets the shove. Touchdown. Shock Linwood pulling on Matt Leiter and Reggie Bush.
Really one of the only opportunities to hit the quarterback of your own team is when you're a running back. You can push him in a little bit. Never gets called. Mike Stoops doesn't like it.
Aaron Jones off of the extra point. 17-5. Baylor now leading Oklahoma with 1 minute to go here in this first half.
A couple of rushing touchdowns from Bryce Petty. That's exactly what Oklahoma came into this ball game probably hoping was going to happen, is that, hey, Bryce Petty was going to try to run the football. That means we're doing our job, making him keep it. But he's done a heck of a job. This was the missed tackle earlier in the drive. Petty on that slant route, and Norwood breaks the tackle right there of Gabe Lynn. Anytime you're in that much space on an island as a defensive back and you miss the tackle, it's big yardage for the opponent. And Norwood with a huge drive there for Baylor.
And if you'd ask Oklahoma's coaches, Bob Stoops, Mike Stoops, Gabe Lynn one-on-one with Norwood, they'll take that any day. He's a great tackler and a leader on their defense, but came up short that time. And Baylor now able to create their own momentum and score touchdowns. That does not bode well for the Sooners, especially with the way they've been playing offensively.
Especially with a minute to go in the half. Remember, Baylor, they received that first half kick. So this was a big opportunity for them to get a score before the second half. OU, they'll get it in the second half, and they've got no timeouts with now just a minute left.
And coming up, we got the Pizza Hut halftime report. Rob Stone, Coy Wire, Ryan Neese. Trey Franks takes it. And Franks will get spun around at the 28-yard line. Prince Kent with a special teams tackle. 54 seconds to go here in this first half. Baylor on that last scoring drive. 9 plays in 93 yards.
But it was a third down offsides penalty by Stryker that kept that drive alive. That was all the way back their own 10-yard line, kept it alive for Baylor, but then they took advantage. Bryce Petty with a couple of great passes, and now it's Blake Bell's opportunity to answer with only 54 seconds to go.
And again, no timeouts remaining here for Oklahoma. Bell. That pass is intercepted. Eddie Lackey. The 4th interception of the year thrown by Bell.
It looked like a screen setting up to the right side, but Blake Bell tries down the middle of the field, never really looks over at the screen, and didn't see Lackey.
And his eyes were plastered all over the receiver the whole way down. That's Jalen Saunders in the middle of the field. Never saw the backside linebacker. And these second-level defenders for Baylor continue to make life miserable for the Oklahoma offense. This defense has played a heck of a first half.
Going empty backfield here on 1st and 10 from the 38 of Oklahoma. 2 timeouts remaining. On first down, the pass is incomplete, looking for Clay Fuller.
You do not want the Bears to have the ball in plus territory with 43 seconds left. It's a recipe for disaster for the Sooners.
Petty with time. Down the sideline, it's incomplete, looking for Antoine Goodley. Aaron Colvin there on the coverage. And you talk about problematic matchups for this defense for Oklahoma. Those cornerbacks, they have not had any problems covering these wide receivers.
That's a great matchup there, Colvin and Goodley. Goodley coming in, averaging over 23 yards per catch on the season, which is just absurd when you think about it. But Colvin, step for step to the goal line with him.
3rd and 10. Goodley in motion. It's kept by Petty. Petty up the middle. He has the first down.
Nobody left. Oklahoma gets caught in a blitz. Dominique Alexander blitzes up the left side of the defense. Absolutely nobody there. Petty takes advantage for the first down.
With 20 seconds left, that pass is incomplete. Intended for Antoine Goodley.
Baylor still has 2 timeouts left, so time's still really not a factor. Any point of the field open for Bryce Petty if you're wondering why he would throw it short in the middle of the field.
Especially with an offense that has the ability. That's just what they do, to play with pace. No problem for them in this situation.
Shock Linwood in at tailback. $14 unanswered by Baylor. Petty pump fake to the end zone, touchdown, Antoine Goodley. A 24-yard touchdown pass from Bryce Petty to Antoine Goodley. Aaron Jones on for the extra point. All set up by the interception by Eddie Lackey.
What a great catch by Goodley. He really caught the back tip of the ball. And what a strange formation the Bears came out in.
Stack set all the way wide, wider than the numbers, and miscommunication from the Oklahoma secondary. They clearly were running a zone defense there, but Gabe Lynn and Aaron Colvin, the 2 seniors, the ones with the most experience on the Oklahoma defense in the secondary, are caught not knowing the coverage, and Antoine Goodley reins it in. Excellent call, Petros. Back to the ball, but hauls it in for the touchdown. That is a crucial mistake. Remember, back to the turnover from Blake Bell.
Briles is starting to feel his offense wake up in this game, really on the legs of Bryce Petty, the quarterback, but that time A really nice throw and a great catch, as we said, by Goodley. No Tevin Reese, no Lake Seastrup, no problem. You still have a superstar perimeter guy out there in Antoine Goodley.
14 points in 47 seconds for the Baylor Bears. And this is more what this crowd expected, to see some points put on the board. 24-5 with 13 seconds to go here in this first half. Jones, a little squib kick. That's taken at the 30 by Brandon Green. Coming up in just a couple seconds, the Pizza Hut halftime report with Rob Stone, Coy Wire, and Ryan Neese. They'll talk about this game. They'll actually be talking about defense, shockingly, and also about that other big top 10 matchup with Stanford and Oregon. There is a player injured for Oklahoma, Damian Williams.
Williams, the senior out of San Diego. JC transfer out of Arizona Western. The most consistent cog in Oklahoma's tailback committee, but because they run tailback by committee,
there are two number 26s on Oklahoma's roster.
You don't usually see
Jordan Evans.
Yeah, Jordan Evans. You don't usually see a tailback on the KOR team in a blocking situation. And that's just one of the classic back of the ankle roll-ups. Brandon Green.
With no timeouts remaining here for Oklahoma, you would think they would take a knee. Apparently they won't. Instead, the handoff to Williams. And Williams gets wrapped up. And that'll do it here for this first half. The defense for Baylor. They did the job in the first half. The offense picked it up late. 24-5. Baylor leading Oklahoma at the half. We now go to Rob Stone in Los Angeles for the Pizza Hut halftime report, which starts right now.
Well, thank you, Justin.
Fox College Football is presented by Kay Jewelers. Back here in Waco, Texas, 24-5. Baylor leading Oklahoma in this top 10 matchup. Justin Kutcher alongside Petros Papadakis and Joel Klatt. And guys, if you just tuned in, you see 24 points by Baylor. You think, okay, they're on their way. They could score 50. But it wasn't like that for most of this first half.
And they got helped out by some mistakes from Oklahoma, especially late in that first half. Blake Bell has got to take care of the ball better for the Oklahoma Sooners. Late in that second quarter, Blake Bell with under a minute to go throws the interception. Ahmad Dixon right there. Then it's Bryce Petty with his feet and ultimately with his arm to the other number 5, Antoine Goodley. Antoine Goodley, a sensational catch. And just like that, Baylor took the big lead.
Baylor's defense has been unbelievable, stifling Oklahoma all night so far. Ahmad Dixon matching the physicality of what is supposed to be the most physical team in the Big 12. We knew Baylor's defense was good numerically, but we didn't know they were this good in person against an offense like Oklahoma. They've been the story of the night thus far.
Baylor will kick off to start this third quarter. Oklahoma to receive. Baylor on this blackout night at Floyd Casey Stadium. Closed the half very, very strong. Aaron Jones to kick off. Roy Finch is back deep for Oklahoma. Franks in the end zone will take a knee. And Oklahoma will start at the 25. And let's check in with Christina Pink.
Thanks, Justin. Well, we are certainly seeing the depth of this Baylor offense tonight. Talked to Coach Browse at halftime. He said that Lake Seastrunk is probable to return to this game. He's still experiencing some tightness in that groin area. They want him to stay loose and see how he responds here to start the third quarter as he's loosening up here on the sideline. Also, his backup, Glasgow Martin, is out with a right knee injury, and receiver Tevin Reese is out. He had his right wrist evaluated and x-rayed at halftime. I did get a chance to talk to Coach Stoops. He mainly expressed his frustration with their offense. He said our defense is keeping us in the game, but that offense isn't getting the job done. Talked about the turnover and some of those penalties, Justin.
No doubt the offense not getting it done. Oklahoma under 100 yards in that first half. Roy Finch in at tailback. They're going to run the option. It's kept by Bell, and he tripped over that blade of field turf.
Not the way you want to open up if you're Blake Bell, especially after that mistake late in the second quarter. But it was all Baylor in that second quarter. Their offense finally started to get a rhythm. 229 total yards now in the game and 103 on the ground. But the third down conversions is the one that jumps out to me. 1 of 8 for Oklahoma, 5 of 9 for Baylor. Baylor staying on the field.
Those first half stats presented by Kay Jeweler. 2nd down and 10. Bell to pass, and he swings it to Jalen Saunders. And Saunders is out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Terrell Burt pushes him out.
The Sooners start the first half by trying to work the perimeter. They do that again in the second half. They haven't really been able to soften up Baylor in the middle with their run game, and they certainly haven't had a lot of success throwing the ball down the field. Baylor's defense stout in the red zone, stout in short yardage, stout all night.
3rd down and 4. Don't forget Oklahoma without Sterling Shepard, who left the game, we think, with a concussion. They took the helmet away. Bell pressured from behind, taken down by Terrence Lloyd. Sacked for a loss of 1.
Holding on to the football, and this Baylor defense continues to stay active. Bell is trying to go to his right side. Excellent coverage, and then the active Terrence Lloyd, 6'3", 245 pounds, not overly big to play defensive end, but you can tell very quick, gets around the edge and ultimately to the quarterback.
Lots of hybrid guys out there for Baylor. Ends that could be linebackers, linebackers that could be safeties, versatile guys.
Jed Barnett punting to Levi Norwood. Fair catch made at the 31. Fox Sports Supports is proud to partner with Stomp Out Bullying, the leading national anti-bullying organization for kids and teens in the U.S. Stomp Out Bullying focuses on preventing bullying and digital abuse. It educates against racism and hatred, deters violence in schools and online, and helps at-risk students. To learn more, visit stompoutbullying.org. Baylor taking over on offense. We heard Christina mention all those injuries. Lake Seastrunk, we expect to see him. He's made his way out in the field, then he came back. But we will not see Tevin Reese. We will not see Glasgow Martin. On 1st down, the handoff is to Shock Linwood. And Linwood will get a yard.
I think in the second half, Baylor's got to be careful. They have a lead, and they've been playing very well. But they need to be themselves and continue with their pace.
Flags come flying in.
False start. Offense, number 77, was going down in his stance at the snap. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
It was Petty's ability to run the football, especially in the middle of the Oklahoma defense, that ultimately opened up that offense for Baylor in that second half of the second quarter. Let's see if they go back to that, especially with Linwood, the 3rd-string running back in the game, number 32.
2nd down and 14. And a whistle on the field, the far official. Not exactly what that whistle was for.
Bob Stoops was making the official on the far side actually step off the 5 yards. He said, that's not 5. So the official stepped it off right in front of him. He said, yes, it is. Let's go.
2nd and 14. Petty pump fake. Throws that short. Incomplete. Looking for Jay Lee.
That's Zach Sanchez up there, redshirt freshman. Zach Sanchez picked on by Texas Tech in their last ball game, but he's played well tonight.
They haven't really tried him much, and when they have, he's been successful. It's been Aaron Coleman and Gabe Lynn, the 2 seniors that have had trouble.
3rd down and 14. Petty with time throws to Clay Fuller, and Fuller can't stay in bounds. Marked out at the 38. About 3 yards shy, that first down marker.
One of the most important things for a wide receiver is to know where you are on the football field in relationship with the sticks to keep your team on the field. That time Fuller unable to keep his body in bounds and turn his hips. And a great job by Oklahoma's defense forcing a punt. Same way they started the first half.
It looked like Fuller just lost his wits about him towards the sideline. Didn't realize he was about to step out. Was frustrated, wanted to run for the sticks.
Spencer Roth on to punt. Jalen Saunders lets it go over his head. And this takes a Baylor bounce. Will be down at the 4. Prince Kent again on special teams. Down the field, a 58-yard punt by Spencer Roth. Oklahoma backed up deep into their own territory when we come back. Here on the blackout night at Floyd Casey Stadium, the last year of Floyd Casey Stadium, Baylor leading 24-5 over number 10 Oklahoma, the first real test of the year for these Baylor Bears. And really, the unit that's answered the test the most has been the defense for Baylor. So, guys, what now offensively must this Oklahoma team do?
Got to get the ball to the outside. Blake Bell has got to become your pocket presence as a passer.
From his own end zone on first down, hands off to Williams, and Williams gets hit by Eddie Lackey, and he'll lose a yard.
Lackey shows up as the extra guy in the box at the last second, and really there was nowhere for Williams to go.
There's 9 guys in the run block. There's no possible way to block all of those Baylor defenders. Excellent defensive scheme from Phil Bennett. Really a poor play selection from Josh Heupel, the offensive coordinator for Oklahoma. He's got to throw the ball in this look. Look at all those black jerseys lined up in the run box.
2nd and 11. The handoff again to Williams. And Williams gets out to the 5. Bryce Hager there for the stop.
Bryce Hager really muscling Williams down on that play. All Big 12 in 2012, leading the Big 12 in tackles. Again, this guy is Baylor's stud. We haven't talked about him too much tonight, but he's really been at the center of that defense. And look at what that defense has done tonight to this Oklahoma Sooners offense. Really a shock. I don't think anybody saw this coming.
3rd and 9. Bell stepping up, throws over the middle. That's incomplete. Dimitri Goodson knocked it out of the hands of Trey Franks.
Wonderful play by Goodson. The timing that Goodson has shown tonight deep in the middle of the field has been outstanding. He jumped the route earlier in this ball game and now shows it on 3rd down. Not to interfere, but to get there when the ball arrives. Excellent coverage, incomplete, and off the field again for Baylor. They've been excellent on 3rd down.
Oklahoma back-to-back 3 and outs to start this half, just like they started the first half. Jed Barnett to punt from the back of his own end zone. Levi Norway is at the 45 of Oklahoma, and a flag comes in.
False start. Offense, number 7. Player never got set. Half the distance to the goal. 4th down.
They were trying to spread out, take the pump formation from the tight pump formation and spread everybody out, and they just never got set. Watch here. Never got set for the full beat that it takes. That's always tough to shift when you're in a pump formation because you're relying on a long snapper to understand when everybody is set.
Another mistake here by Oklahoma. Just getting the punt off is Barnett. Norwood, the fair catch made at the 34-yard line, and now some guys getting into it. No flags have been thrown.
We saw a little bit of chippiness before the game during warm-ups. Oklahoma is the Big 12 power. They're the most physical team in the Big 12, and they don't like being pushed around out here, and they're getting pushed around physically by a Baylor football team that really has not been intimidated all night.
Just a miserable start to the second half for the Oklahoma offense. They can't get anything going. Credit to the Baylor defense, but now you set up Baylor with excellent field position now from the 34-yard line. This is easy work now for Baylor's offense, or at least it has been to this point during the course of this season.
Lake Seastrunk is back in at tailback. On first down, it's Seastrunk trying to get outside, and he will run out of bounds, chased out by Frank Shannon. Picks up 5.
Joel, you talked about it earlier. Seastrunk dealing with some kind of leg issue. Seems to be on his right side, and making that break to the outside. Still pretty explosive. That's how good of a back he is, but he doesn't look comfortable.
Second down and 5. It's Seastrunk again, trying to break a tackle, and he will not. Gino Grissom got the jersey, would not let go. A loss of 1.
This front for Oklahoma has not played poorly. You know, they've been left on an island, the man coverage, deep safeties in order to stop the run. For the most part, aside from a couple of Bryce Petty runs up the middle of that defense, they have done a very good job of stopping these backs for Baylor.
Shock Linwood now in at tailback. It's kept by Petty up the middle, and Petty is shy of the first down. Up to the 26, Gino Grissom with his 5th tackle.
Well, this is the prime territory for Art Briles to go for it. Baylor player down on the field, but he's thinking about it. I think he's going to ultimately take the time for this injury to decide whether he's going to go for this 4th down or kick the field goal.
And I'll tell you what, Baylor has had a lot of issues with their big stars going down. Seastrunk, Tevin Reese. This is Cyril Richardson, the 4-year starter, the All-American left guard.
Time for a game break. Let's go to the Fox update desk in Los Angeles with Greg Wolf for an update.
Justin, thank you. Oregon having more problems with a Stanford team that ended their BCS title hopes last year. Stanford quarterback Kevin Hogan, 11-yard touchdown. It is 14-0 Stanford in the second quarter. It's the Ducks' largest deficit this season. Oregon just turned it over on the doorstep as well at the 2-yard line. Let's go back to Waco. Justin, Joel, and Petros.
Stanford up 14-0
Wow.
over Oregon.
Wow. There's one team in the country that seems to know and recognize what Oregon wants to do offensively, even with their sensational quarterback in Stanford.
Baylor leading 24-5 over Oklahoma here. As we look at the Pac-12 standings, that game, huge implications in the Pac-12.
Stanford still has an outside shot to get back into that national title conversation. Ahead of Baylor right now at 5 in the BCS. Baylor sitting at 6 in the BCS. Terrific matchup there. Oregon obviously with their Heisman Trophy candidate Marcus Mariota, but this is a heck of a team in Baylor, and they're making a great statement here tonight. And I think it starts, guys, and I'm sure you would agree with me, with their defense, because that's what everyone was questioning coming into this game. We knew that Baylor could score offensively. I didn't realize that they could play this stout of defense, and they're going to keep their offense on the field, trusting that defense going forward on 4th down.
And Kyle Fuller comes in at left guard for Baylor. 5 wide receivers in. It's kept by Petty up the middle for the first down. And the ball comes loose. Dominique Alexander had the tackle. Petty looks like he's slow to get up.
And that's the danger of making your quarterback running the football a big part of your offense. Here's the end of the play. Alexander with the tackle on the upper body. Spencer Drango comes up with the ball, so Baylor keeps it.
Just wrapped up around that right leg. That is the danger. Anytime you expose your quarterback like this in the middle of the field, he's going to stay on the field, but he did get up and limp around. Speaking of Bryce Petty.
First down, red zone opportunity here for the Baylor Bears. Petty to throw to the end zone, open receiver, touchdown, Levi Norwood.
Seems like the Sooners have just kind of forgot Levi Norwood was out there.
Well, they just continue to pick on Aaron Colvin. Julian Wilson, the nickelback, and Aaron Colvin are the two defenders out there. Another miscommunication leaves Norwood absolutely wide open for the touchdown.
And the extra point is good by Aaron Jones. Bryce Petty, 2 touchdowns on the ground, now 2 through the air. And it's 31-5 Baylor. 28 unanswered points by Baylor after that 5-play, 34-yard drive, which ended in a Levi Norwood 17-yard touchdown catch.
And Bob Stoops was furious after the play. Mike Stoops and Bob Stoops out talking with the officials the entire commercial break. They felt like, and probably feel like all night long, the Baylor wide receivers have taken advantage of being physical on pick routes. Antoine Goodley, number 5, may have gotten away with pretty solid high screen and roll, and this ain't basketball.
You know, you don't see it called very much. I can't remember the last time I saw it called. Certainly not this year.
I can't either.
Aaron Jones to kick off. Trey Franks and Roy Finch back deep. A high short kick. Franks from the 10. And Franks will get it out to the 29-yard line.
Let's go back to that touchdown, Justin. This is what they're so upset about. Antoine Goodley's on the outside. He's going to go and pick number 2. That's Julian Wilson, the nickelback. Just runs right into him. The only hard part for the official is that could be construed as a route. And this is the conversation that then took place. He's talking about these routes that Baylor continues to run. And remember, they're running them because Oklahoma has been in man coverage basically the entire night.
You're sure he's not talking about the Big East basketball coverage, which starts tomorrow night?
I'm sure. Yeah, I guarantee it.
Damian Williams at tailback here on first down. Play action. Bell waiting, throws, got hit, and that is incomplete. Jazz Reynolds, the intended receiver, Dimitri Goodson there, and the pressure applied by Hager.
There's such a thing as holding the ball for too long.
That ball probably should have been thrown a few steps, as far as wide receivers go, a few steps earlier than it was. That allowed Hager to actually get to the quarterback, affect the throw down the middle of the field. It looked like the spacing of the route was also screwed up. Rarely do you see 2 wide receivers that close, both inside the hash marks for an offense.
Williams splits out, pressure coming. The pass is complete to Saunders. Saunders has some room to run as he gets up near midfield. Taken down at the 48-yard line. A 19-yard completion. Hall with a tackle.
One of the better play calls for the Sooners all night, and they've got to be patient. There's not going to be a 26-point touchdown that they can score right now. They have to concentrate on executing offensively, holding on to the ball. It's still the third quarter. Get some confidence back because they've been stifled all night by the Bear D.
On first down, Bell hands off to Finch. Finch breaks a tackle. Finch still on his feet as he goes down at the 29. It looked like he might have stepped out of bounds, but the official said he stayed in and got 23 yards.
Made a real hard dead leg cut. Bryce Hager missed a tackle, and Roy Finch, a career 1,300 yards and 50 receptions, and he's the third back. That's how much depth Oklahoma has at the position. And 2 plays in a row, they found a little space out there.
Finally moving the ball offensively. Finch in motion. They'll hand off to Williams. Williams, good tackle that time by Ahmad Dixon.
Now, this is a great play design. Watch how they just handed the ball on Roy Finch to that end around. He's going to come in motion, but they're going to give it to the opposite running back and go the opposite direction. Everybody from Baylor, they're occupied, at least visually, by Roy Finch. They go back to the short side of the field. That's starting to get a rhythm offensively from a play calling standpoint if you're Josh Heupel.
2nd down and 4 after that run of 6 yards. Hand off to Clay, and Clay got hit immediately. K.J. Morton with the tackle. Looked like Sean Oakman maybe got an arm on him as well.
Oakman has just been outstanding. 6'9", 270 pounds, 6'9", and yet plays with leverage, good hips, not a waist bender, but a knee bender. The guy is sensational on the line of scrimmage.
A mammoth player and a really nice move inside that caused that. Remember how poor Oklahoma has been in short yardage tonight.
1 for 10 on 3rd downs. It's 3rd and 4. Bell rolling to his right, throws, open receiver, caught. LaColton Bester for the 1st down. Just the 2nd 3rd down conversion of the night for the Sooners.
Good use of motion here from Oklahoma, and they're going to bring LaColton Bester all the way in motion and just continue his momentum into the flat. Very difficult to cover that if you're a linebacker trying to run with the motion.
Hand off to Clay. Clay breaks a tackle. He's across the 10, up to the 9. K.J. Morton with a tackle.
The Sooners are doing what we talked about. They're starting to try to execute offensively, not looking up at the scoreboard, putting their heads down and trying to get something going. And they've got it going here, but remember how much trouble they've had punching it in from the red zone.
2nd down and 2. Bell under center. Hand off to Clay, and Clay gets tackled by K.J. Morton. Remember, K.J. Morton was the player who they initially called targeting on and ejected him, but then they changed the call. He stayed in the game, and he's got 7 tackles on the night. Trevor Knight will come in now at quarterback. 3rd and 3 here for Oklahoma. Finally moving the ball offensively on this drive. Empty backfield here for Knight. Knight with the cut, and he's not going to get the 1st down. Ahmad Dixon, another big tackle.
No lead back. 2 tight end set, 3 wide receivers. Quarterback just sitting back there alone, trying to pick his hole. Trevor Knight can't do it. Those linebackers for Baylor have scraped across the line of scrimmage and been there every single time Oklahoma's trying to run with the quarterback.
And finishing the plays, finishing the tackles. We talked about Oklahoma having to tackle in space. Baylor's done a good job of that.
Play clock is at 9. They switch quarterbacks again. 4th and 3. Bell swings it out to Finch to the end zone. Touchdown. The 2nd receiving touchdown of the year for Finch, and that was a great play call.
The offense for Oklahoma finally getting it done. Finch is going to be in the backfield and just going to swing out, and Baylor is caught in the blitz. No one there in the back end, and Bell finally recognizes it and gets the ball out on time.
Michael Honeycutt's extra point is good. And Oklahoma finally into the paints. Just thought I'd keep that whole basketball theme going, right? 31-12. Baylor leading Oklahoma. Big East basketball is coming to Fox Sports beginning tomorrow as Boston College takes on Bryce Cotton and the Providence Friars in the season opener for both teams. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. Eastern with Gus Johnson and Bill Raftery on the call on your new home for Big East basketball, Fox Sports 1. Well, Oklahoma finally scores a touchdown. 71 yards over 10 plays, 454. And it was a fourth down conversion, the touchdown pass from Bell to Roy Finch.
Finch featured on the drive, also carrying the football. This is a guy that they told us they want to get the ball to, and they've finally done it now in the third quarter.
Levi Norwood from the 4. And Norwood will get up to the 24-yard line, a 20-yard return. 31-12, Baylor leading Oklahoma in this top 10 matchup here in the Big 12 in Waco, Texas. .312 to go here in the third quarter, 31-12. Baylor leading Oklahoma. On first down, it's shot. Linwood up the middle, breaks a tackle. Linwood breaks another tackle. And Linwood is all the way down to the 37-yard line. A 39-yard run by the third-string running back.
Gabe Lynn, number 9, is the guy that has the first shot at Linwood. He runs out of that tackle. Quentin Hayes has a shot at him. He runs out of that tackle all the way down the field.
Play action. Petty to the end zone, flag looking for Antoine Goodley. Julian Wilson there on the coverage. And the flag was thrown by the back judge.
Holding. Defense number 2. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Julian Wilson, number 2. He gets caught out of position, and that's why he has to reach out and grab Antoine Goodley. Goodley so fast, so explosive, over 20 yards per catch on the season.
Hand off again to Linwood. Linwood down inside the 10. Quentin Hayes and Gabe Lynn combined for the tackle, but an 18-yard run.
Just when Oklahoma is able to get something going, Baylor gashing.
Linwood for another carry, picks up 2. Dominique Alexander with his 6th tackle.
And to see these big plays in the Baylor run game and their dedication to it on this drive reminds you of how they won the Alamo Bowl against Washington, reminds you of how they won the Holiday Bowl against UCLA. Mostly just running the football, this time with a third-string back this drive.
They ran the ball against UCLA in the Holiday Bowl 67 times, and they've stayed committed to the run here tonight.
Petty again to Norwood. A flag on the play. Norwood hung on for the touchdown. Let's see.
Bob Stoops was after him about that offensive pass interference earlier.
Pass interference. Offense, number 5. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay second down.
They've tried that pick route every time they've got down inside that 20-yard line. And finally, this conversation that Stoops had after the last touchdown now pays dividends for Oklahoma.
Well, we finally saw it called. Norwood wide open again. And that lobbying by Bob Stoops seems to have paid off.
So now it's 2nd and goal from the 24. Handoff. Linwood again, and Linwood will get a yard. And Dule with the tackle. So 3rd and goal now from the 23. Empty backfield here for Baylor. 5 wide receivers in.
There are no safeties deep. Straight zero coverage means no safeties, man-to-man on the outside. Rest of the defense right up at the line of scrimmage.
Pressure coming. Petty hit as he's thrown and was looking for Clay Fuller. There is a flag thrown. Julian Wilson there on the coverage. The officials getting together about the flag being thrown.
Petty takes a huge hit here from Charles Tapper, just running free.
There is no foul on the play for pass interference.
Joel, you were all over that. What'd you see?
Well, the line judge on the near side immediately ran when he saw the flag come out from the field judge who was back behind him, behind the play. He saw the flag come out. He immediately ran towards him to have the conversation. When you see that type of movement from an official, Julian Wilson was the one the flag comes out. The field judge calls the penalties behind the play. That line judge ran immediately right up to him. Anytime you see that type of conviction out of an official, it's normally going to get picked up.
Aaron Jones on now for a 40-yard field goal attempt. And this time, Jones drills it. For those of you who just joined us, this game got off to an interesting start, to say the least. How about the safety? The first 2 points on the board for Oklahoma. A touchdown run by Bryce Petty. A second touchdown run by Petty. Then he's able to find Antoine Goodley in the end zone. The first of 2 passing touchdowns as he finds Norwood. But finally, Oklahoma gets into the end zone as Blake Bell found Roy Finch. And it's 34-12. Number 6 Baylor leading number 10 Oklahoma.
Oklahoma just bailed out there a couple of times. One for an offensive pass interference that Bob Stoops lobbied for on the last Baylor possession. And then the officials get together on what would have been a defensive pass interference, continuing the drive with an automatic first down for Baylor, and they wave the penalty off, forcing Baylor to kick a field goal. So the lobbying from Bob Stoops, I've never really seen it in football, but it's working for Bob Stoops tonight on the road.
Usually you see it with an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman saying, this guy's got his hands in my face, or this guy is holding, and that's usually the lobbying you see that's successful. But from a coach to see it that openly and then to see it called, pretty amazing. And I'll tell you what, Petty has been hit hard twice in this third quarter, probably the hardest he's ever been hit in his career.
1:17 to go here in the third. 34-12. Baylor leading. Justin Kutcher alongside Joel Klatt, Petros Papadakis, and Christina Pink. Aaron Jones to kick off. Finch and Franks are back deep. And this ball's going to go out of bounds and draw the flag. You can hear the officials coming in. You want a flag? No, sir.
Kick out of bounds. Ball been placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
Oklahoma will take off. We'll take over at the 35, and we should also update you on a couple of injuries in this one. For Baylor, Tevin Reese is out for the remainder of this game, as is Glasgow Martin. Lake Seastrunk, he has returned with a groin injury.
There's Tevin Reese, outstanding wide receiver. Seastrunk on the bench, had the tight growing. He's been working out. He's been back on the field.
And for Oklahoma, Sterling Shepard left the game after taking a hard hit. Blake Bell. Play action. Now he's taking a shot deep down the field. And that is incomplete, but here's the flag. Jalen Saunders, the intended receiver. Terrell Burt on the coverage.
They don't like it.
And now these officials are going to have a conference about it.
They don't like it on the Baylor sideline. I can tell you that. Half those guys came out to the numbers in their coaching staff. Really an underthrown ball by Blake Bell, and that's where you run into trouble with pass interference.
They're trying to get the out and up.
Pass interference. Defense number 13. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Earlier in the game, we saw an underthrown ball from Bryce Petty draw a pass interference from the Oklahoma side. And now the underthrown ball from Blake Bell for Oklahoma draws the pass interference for Baylor. Hard to argue with the call. I know they're not going to like it because now that's 3 consecutive penalties out there that have gone not for the Baylor side.
6th first down by penalty for Oklahoma in this game. Bell again taking a shot, and that was a heck of a defensive play right there. Joe Williams.
Watch him come in and break this ball up right when it hits the hands of Saunders. Perfectly played, and he was off balance, goes back with his left arm. What an athletic play from Joe Williams, the senior from St. Louis.
Oklahoma starting to do what you asked them to do in the first half, Joel, which is throw the ball downfield to their slot players.
2nd down and 10. Finch in the backfield. He's the one in motion, takes the handoff, trying to get outside. And he's going to get chased out and shoved out by Bryce Hager.
What a nice play by Hager, staying with it, running to the sideline against a faster Roy Finch. This is a Baylor defense built for speed, trying to get to the perimeter against them, not going to be easy.
Hager so fast sideline to sideline right now.
3rd and 8 here for Oklahoma. 2 for 12 on 3rd downs. Bell. Pass is complete for the 1st down of Jazz Reynolds. And Reynolds gets tackled at the 29 by Joe Williams.
They caught him in a blitz again. Baylor continues to be aggressive with Phil Bennett, the defensive coordinator. And now Blake Bell is starting to settle down and get that ball out of his hand.
Gets rid of it quickly again to Reynolds. And Reynolds gets tackled by Sam Hall.
The pace of Oklahoma, the play calling choices by Heupel really starting to work for Oklahoma, but is it too late? They got a tough hill to climb here as we approach the 4th quarter.
That is the end of this 3rd quarter. Baylor 34, Oklahoma 12. Bob Stoops, Art Briles, the joys of coaching a big game. Fox College Football will continue after these messages. We go to the 4th quarter here in Waco as we take a look at our game summary. Baylor leading 34-12. Bryce Petty, 154 passing yards, 50 rushing yards. He's accounted for 4 touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 2 in the air. Damian Williams, play action. Bell, the pass is incomplete. Looking for Brandon Green, Ahmad Dixon there on the coverage.
Just too much athleticism from Ahmad Dixon. Brennan Green is never going to create the separation that he needs from an athlete like Dixon, the senior from Waco. 40 tackles on the season, an interception to boot, all over that play-action pass right from the get-go.
A 3rd-year starter, a Thorpe Award candidate, and he's helping his cause for that beautiful trophy tonight.
3rd and 4. Bell, design run. And Bell trying for the 2nd effort, didn't matter. Eddie Lackey, what a night for him with his 7th tackle.
Oklahoma's just not been able to get the push that they thought they were going to get with their offensive line. It's another slow developing play. Williams leads through on the block, but just too slow developing with that athletic Bear defense. They swarm around Bell before he can get the 1st down. And of course, they're in 4-down territory.
Have to go for it, trying 34-12, 4th and 3. They converted the last time on 4th down for a touchdown to Roy Finch. Finch splits out. Bell throws high, tipped, incomplete. Tipped by Sam Hall. And a turnover on downs.
And the Baylor defense comes up huge again. The short out route from the inside receiver, and he just sits on it, the outside linebacker. Excellent job of recognition. Sam Hall understanding route concepts and spacing, and he sits and waits for the inside receiver, which he knows is going to fall right into his lap, and Blake Bell throws it right at him.
Jalen Saunders, since Sterling Shepard went down, he's been really the only receiver that Blake Bell has targeted. So Baylor takes over on downs from their own 22. On 1st down, it's Linwood with the carry. And Linwood up to the 26. Frank Shannon with his 9th tackle.
We started seeing the Baylor run game open up in their last drive, and keeps going there with another nice 1st down carry. Baylor can do that. Oklahoma's going to have a really hard time clawing back.
Shock Linwood is over 100 yards for the third time in the last 4 games. He had 106 in the last game against Kansas. On 2nd and 5, Petty throws, completes that pass to Antoine Goodley, and Goodley dragging defenders across the 40 up to the 41.
Now, Joe, you don't often see Baylor receivers in a stop route.
He does an excellent job of forcing the corner to turn his hips before stopping, which I love.
Linwood able to hang on to that ball as Charles Tapper was trying to strip it from behind. He gets 4 yards on first down.
And playing with pace, with the lead in the 4th quarter. This is the new age of college football. No longer are teams just going to sit there and take the air out of the ball. They're going to play their own game.
Again, it's Linwood. Look at that move. And Linwood has the first down.
And that just came down to a one-on-one matchup between Shock Linwood and the Mike backer for Oklahoma, Frank Shannon, who missed the tackle in the open field, and Linwood was able to get the first down.
Play action. Petty to the sideline, and that pass is complete to Levi Norwood.
I think it's very smart that Baylor is doing, like you said, Joel, playing with the pace that they're used to playing with, running their offense, not trying to be something different than their own identity. That's why they're moving the ball here.
Hand off to Linwood. Spin move. Shock Linwood. Another nice run.
What a move. Linwood right in the hole with the spin. Out of the arms of Frank Shannon again and Dominique Alexander. That was Dominique Alexander, the true freshman.
And with this pace, a timeout has been taken. A player down on the field, that's Julian Wilson. The brothers, a little heated exchange. Julian Wilson, the junior out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. With Wilson on the ground, we'll step aside. Baylor marching down the field, leading 34-12. Julian Wilson being checked out on the sidelines. Kaz Everett comes in to replace him at the nickel.
Baylor with a blistering pace this offensive drive, and they have the ability to do that. But throughout the game, they've used different paces just to try to keep the Oklahoma defense on their heels. Sometimes it's not just about going fast, it's about the threat of being able to go fast and keeping people on the line of scrimmage, and that is Art Briles' offense, one of the most brilliant offensive minds in today's college football.
Hand off to Shock Linwood again. How about the night that Shock Linwood is putting in? 17 carries, 130 yards.
I think people used to seeing Baylor throw the ball all over the place or expecting that are shocked at this very physical run game.
And a flag is thrown here. False start.
False start. Offense number 1. Player never got set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
I don't think they should be surprised about this rush offense. They've done it all year long. 300 yards per game. Linwood tonight 130, which is a career high. As a team, they rush for over 6 yards per carry on the season. That's 6th in the country. This team is committed to a ground attack, very similar to what Oregon does up in the Northwest.
211 rushing yards on the night for this Baylor team. Second down and 10. Linwood again up the middle. He gets up to the 24 and picks up 3.
I've not been surprised that they're running the ball. I'm surprised at how physically they're running the ball. You got a third string back. Lake Seastrunk has just not been himself with the groin injury. The third string back physically taking it to a physically superior Oklahoma D.
Petty on 3rd and 7 throws. The slant is incomplete. Off the hands of Levi Norwood. Kaz Everett, who came in for Julian Wilson there on the coverage.
Accurate ball from Bryce Petty. This is a ball you'd think is going to be caught by Levi Norwood. right on his hands. Kaz Everett smartly is going to get there before the ball and decides to go with the no contact. Norwood maybe was surprised that there was no contact from the defender, sensing where Kaz Everett was coming from.
Aaron Jones on for a 41-yard field goal attempt. And from 41, that is no good, wide right. So he is 2 for 4 on the night. It's still 34-12. Baylor leading Oklahoma here in Waco. .10:41 to go here at Floyd Casey Stadium. 50,537 fans, the 4th largest in stadium history. And this is the last year of Floyd Casey Stadium. And after the missed field goal, Oklahoma with the ball. Bell with plenty of time. Now forced out of the pocket. Throws. The flag comes flying in. That pass intended for Jalen Saunders.
Holding. Offense. Number 68. 10-yard penalty. First down.
They got Bronson Irwin, the right guard. Right there in the middle of your screen, you see him with both arms around Blackshear. Pretty easy
frowned
call.
upon?
Yes.
23 penalties now in this ball game. Sloppy game from a matchup featuring top 10 opponents.
Only frowned upon if they call it, though.
Now 1st and 20. Bell throws high. That one nearly picked off in the hands of Ahmad Dixon. And then he puts his head in his hands.
Blake Bell got away with one here. Ahmad Dixon breaking on this. Thought it was going to be caught by LaColton Bester, number 11. Probably surprised that it slipped through his hands so quickly. He was trying to get up there and react, but definitely surprised.
And that ball was on his Adam's apple before he knew it.
2nd and 20. Bell lofting one down the sideline, and that one is incomplete. LaColton Bester, the intended receiver. Great coverage by Dimitri Goodson.
Boy, Goodson has been terrific all night long, down the field in coverage, all over the wide receiver. Maybe gets away with a little arm bar, but they're letting it play right now, forcing LaColton Bester all the way to the sideline, creating the extra defender, which is the sideline.
What's most impressive about Goodson? Transferred from Gonzaga, where he was a basketball player. 3rd and 20. 3 for 14 on the night. Bell. Incomplete. Deron Neal, the intended receiver.
Blake Bell really trying to be a downfield passer now. They need him to be to come back in this game, and Oklahoma needed that drive desperately, starting out with the holding penalty, and it just went down from there.
Yeah, a huge stop from Baylor's defense. It's a 3-possession game. Now you're approaching the 10-minute mark in the 4th quarter, and now Baylor can smell it. Maybe the biggest win in their program's history. 10 minutes and 16 seconds away here at home.
Jed Barnett to punt from the goal line. Levi Norwood, a chance to return from the 48. And Norwood not going to go anywhere. He is tackled at the 48. 10:04 to go. The Baylor defense stepping up. They've stepped up all game long. And Oklahoma has had no answer for them. 34-12. The Bears on top of the Sooners. It has been a wacky game here in Waco, Texas. The fans, though, having fun because their team, the Baylor Bears, leading 34-12 in what many believe is the biggest game here in Baylor football history. A matchup of 6 versus 10. Petty on 1st down, hands off to Linwood. Linwood again with a big run. Still on his feet. Linwood inside the 25. Down at the 24. And Dulue with the tackle. but not before a pickup of 28 yards.
And here they come again, still playing with pace, not caring about the clock, doing what Baylor does best, play offense.
Petty will keep it. And Petty gets stood up. He'll lose a yard. Charles Tapper with a tackle.
But you got to love the dedication to the run for the Baylor Bears. Lopsided run versus pass. The second half has been about Shock Linwood and the space around him running the football.
Linwood just adding to his career high, 161 now in this game. Linwood has 161 rushing yards. Oklahoma 203 total yards. Petty taking the shot to the end zone. Touchdown! Antoine Goodley. A 25-yard touchdown pass from Petty to Goodley.
Well, they can smell it now in Waco.
What a ball. Goodley just so impressive. He can go upstairs and get it. He can beat you with his legs. Petty with an accurate ball down the sidelines.
Jones with the extra point. The second touchdown of the night for Antoine Goodley.
Working against Taylor, number 6. Straight man-to-man coverage. Oklahoma has been in it all night long. And Taylor gets caught with his feet set. Anytime that happens, you are in trouble as a defensive back in man coverage. And Petty with a beautiful throw to Antoine Goodley. And Petty knows it. Oklahoma knows it. They're in trouble now. And Baylor looking to put themselves square in that national title hunt. Bryce Petty, excellent performance tonight.
The try is good. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 91, throwing a punch, 15-yard penalty being forced on the kickoff. Number 91 is disqualified.
That's Charles Tapper, the sophomore of Baltimore, Maryland. Gone.
Tapper's played a pretty good game tonight. A few TFLs. And that's going to get you thrown out of the game.
Can't let the emotions get the better of you. Oklahoma has now Charles Tapper. Been disqualified from the game, but boy, what this Baylor program has done has just been amazing. I played against this program back in the early 2000s when they were just the Pits. Couldn't win a Big 12 game. And now to think in November, beating a top 10 team at home, putting themselves right in that conversation with the Ohio States and Alabamas, the Oregons, the Stanfords. This is a quality team coached by Art Briles. They should absolutely get consideration for that BCS National Championship.
Antoine Goodley with that 25-yard catch for the touchdown, his second one tonight. And after the penalty and ejection, kicking off from midfield, just pulled it a bit. Could not split the uprights. Fox College Saturday, presented by Cade Jewelers, returns with a triple header, beginning with USC taking on Cal on Fox. Then Kansas battles 14th ranked Oklahoma State on Fox Sports 1, followed by Texas squaring off against West Virginia on Fox. Coverage begins Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern with a college football pregame show on Fox Sports 1.
And if you want to dominate in college football, if you want to be in the conversation with the teams you mentioned, Joel, you have to win in conference. And not just win in conference, you have to beat the big boys. You have to beat the teams that have the mystique, that have the history. Oklahoma is certainly that, and Baylor has done that tonight, really making a statement nationally.
Finch in motion. Bell pressured from behind, steps up. Stiff arm, and Bell picks up some positive yards, and a flag comes in. Looking like a late hit against Baylor.
Man, have we had a lot of penalties tonight.
This will be the 24th.
Nobody's counting.
There is no foul on the play. Second down.
I lied.
23.
We're still at 23.
Come on, Flat.
This is what they were discussing. That's number 2, Sean Oakman, who's been all over the place, and they thought it was going to be a late hit, personal foul out of bounds, but everybody had left their feet when everyone was inbounds. I think that's a smart call to pick that flag up.
And I think you will be right. I think we will have a 24th at some point.
I hope not.
Bell swings that pass out to Williams. Excuse me, that's actually Jazz Reynolds. And Reynolds gets 7 yards and a first down. That pass is incomplete again, looking for Reynolds. And again, I'm going to go back to Trey Miller not being available for this Oklahoma team, out for the year with the ACL.
Well, that certainly didn't help him.
Yeah.
It just feels like Blake Bell never was comfortable in this game.
He never got a rhythm going throwing the football. And more importantly, Oklahoma, you could tell that their game plan coming in was going to try to feature the run in between the tackles, try to out-physical a Baylor team that they thought was a finesse team, and Baylor wasn't having it. Their defense was outstanding versus the run.
Play action on 2nd and 10. Another flag comes out. The pass, that is picked off. Dimitri Goodson back the other way. Goodson gets a block. And he's taken down at the 40 by Roy Finch. 41-yard return, second interception of the game thrown by Bell.
79. That penalty's been denied. Result of the play, interception, first down.
And Finch is down on the ground for Oklahoma.
Goodson continues his quality play. He's been all over the place tonight. One of the reasons why Blake Bell has not been able to establish any rhythm throwing the ball down the field, and he just high points that ball and goes up and over Deron Neal for the interception. This team is for real. They can play some defense. Their offense can score with anybody in the country. This is one of the best college football teams I've seen all year long.
They certainly have proven it tonight, and that's what people were looking for them to do. Oklahoma came in here trying to prove Baylor was a little brother. A little brother, pretty physical tonight.
Oklahoma only has 215 yards of total offense.
On first down, a shocker, they hand off to Linwood up the middle. And Linwood gets to the 35. You know, you talk about what this means. Baylor looking like they're going to move to 8-0 and extend their winning streak to a school record 12 games.
You know what started that streak, a win over #1 in the BCS, Kansas State, last year in this stadium. And they have not looked back since. They were a 4-5 ball club when they beat Colin Klein, Bill Snyder, and the Kansas State Wildcats. And Art Briles and these Bears have not looked back since.
And if you think about it, Oregon is losing right now 20-0 in the third quarter. You certainly have a chance to move up in the rankings in the BCS if you're Baylor with a win here tonight. Handoff again to Linwood. But you mentioned that run last year for this Baylor team. What's impressed me so much is since 2011, Baylor is 11-1 in November and December. And you guys talk about November, that's the time to really step up.
Well, that's who Art Briles is. I mean, that's what great coaching is, playing your best football at that time of the year. You have to say that's true about the Baylor Bears.
Ball start, offense, number 5. 5-yard penalty, third down.
There's number 24.
Well, there it is. And you start looking ahead, though, and you start to project out what everyone around the country has left. And those quality opponents.
They're coming for Baylor.
For those BCS numbers. And guess what? Baylor's got some quality opponents coming up. Texas Tech, Oklahoma State. TCU, I know, is having a down year, but they're going to finish the year with a Texas squad that has played outstanding since starting the season 1 and 2.
3rd and 11 here. Handoff. Again, a shot, Linwood. And Linwood brings it up to the 34-yard line. Gets 5 yards, tackled by Frank Shannon.
You mentioned that victory over Kansas State last year that took all the air out of that Kansas State balloon. I mean, everything, the Heisman, the championship hopes. That's what Oklahoma was hoping to do tonight. Baylor saying, no way.
You know, Baylor's had big wins before. 2 years ago, Oklahoma came in here as the 5th-ranked team in the country, and they beat them.
Going for it here on 4th and 5. They're asking the crowd to quiet down. The crowd's doing the wave, though. You can't quiet down the wave. Petty to throw on 4th and 5. Pressured, and he's going to get taken down by Ndulue. Sacked for a loss of 3, a turnover on downs with 5:47 to go. Number 6 Baylor looking to move to 8-0 for the first time in school history and continue to climb in the BCS rankings, leading 41-12. All right, guys, so as Baylor leads 41-12 here, we look at the BCS top 10, what they have coming up this week. You see Oregon, Stanford. We mentioned that game, 20-0 Stanford leading. As far as the movement that we could see in the BCS this week.
Well, for me, Ohio State then starts to stick out. I know they've been impressive over the last couple of weeks, but you've got to think that Stanford may be able to leapfrog Ohio State, maybe even Baylor leapfrog Ohio State.
On first down, the handoff is to Finch, and Finch gets spun around at the 45 by Bryce Hager.
Stanford is without a doubt the most beloved one-loss team in the country, and if they're able to keep going and knock off this Oregon team at home tonight, then it's going to be very interesting to see where Ohio State and Baylor fit around that Stanford team.
2nd down and 2. And some more flags for another false start.
False start. Offense. Number 48. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Why do you think Stanford is so beloved?
Well, it's their resume. You know, their top 50 wins, their strength of schedule. Stanford is a team that has gone out there, and they still have Notre Dame left on the schedule, potentially a Pac-12 championship. You know, they're right in the thick of things, even with the Baylors and the Florida States and the Ohio States.
2nd down and 7. Finch breaks a tackle. Sam Hall brings him down as we take a look at Baylor's upcoming schedule. And Joel, you mentioned this. It is not easy to close out the season for the Bears.
No, it's not. That Texas Tech game is going to be on a neutral site in Dallas, but at Oklahoma State, you know, Baylor has been terrific at home, 17-1 since 2011 at home, but away from Floyd Casey Stadium in conference, they've only won 3 conference games in the last 3 years.
And late in December for the regular season, remember, there is no Big 12 championship against Texas.
3rd and 9 here for the Sooners. Bell, his pass is hauled in by Deron Neal. And Neal up at midfield for the 1st down.
You know, we talk about Stanford and how good they are and how their resume looks. Stanford pretty similar to Baylor in this way, Joel. And we talked about this the last couple days. Stanford has lost a lot of people, and you thought their run of greatness would be over, starting with Toby Gerhart, then Jim Harbaugh, then Andrew Luck, you know, David Shaw just keeping the whole thing going. Kind of similar here with Baylor, losing RG3, losing Nick Florence with a 3rd quarterback. They're excellent.
Terrence Williams, you could throw in there.
Great,
who was
great receiver.
Finalist. He was a terrific player. They've had several great running backs come through here. And yes, they continue to win. Art Briles has built something here that is sustainable. One, the administration supports him. They said around $500 million is what RG3's Heisman was worth to them, and media exposure and the like. Well, guess what? They've capitalized on that, building a brand new stadium on campus 4 miles from Floyd Casey Stadium. They've done a marvelous job from the administration standpoint of continuing that success, raising the money, and then Art Briles has gone out and recruited. Robbie Rhodes, who's a true freshman for Baylor, he was a guy highly recruited by everyone, including Texas. And when you got a kid from Texas who chooses Baylor over the University of, then you got something going.
And just look at the way they've reloaded in this game, Joel. Seastrunk goes out. your third running back, Shock Linwood, has the game of his life. Tevin Reese goes down. That's okay. You still got Antoine Goodley making big plays on the perimeter.
And Norwood as well, who was big tonight.
3rd and 6 here for Oklahoma. Bell stepping up, throws, and that is incomplete. Jazz Reynolds could not hang on to it. Joe Williams there defending him.
And I go back to Art Briles. What a wonderful story Art Briles is look at the defensive backs coming through again for Baylor. But Art Briles, what a great story. He grew up in rural Texas, small town near Abilene, was a track star, a football player in high school, played for his dad, then went to the University of Houston, was a player there, and just suffered an unspeakable tragedy. He was about to play in a game against SMU at the Cotton Bowl. His parents never arrived. Both of his parents were killed in a car crash going to watch him play, and he overcame, had to transfer, became a high school football coach just like his dad was, got to the college ranks, and now has the University of Baylor in the national title conversation. What a remarkable story and job by that man, Art Briles.
He really is a statewide hero in the football world of Texas because of that high school coaching background. All these high school coaches throughout the state of Texas look upon him as a great example of how to do things correctly. And there's no doubt he's a very impressive man and football coach. You expect the Oklahomas of the world to reload. You don't expect Baylor to reload in a way that they have.
The Right Stuff Player of the Game presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. It is that 3rd string running back, Shock Linwood.
All he did is go out and average over 7 yards a carry. 171 on the night, and physically took it to Oklahoma. Put this team on his back in the second half. He was the difference. When they had injuries to their great players like Blake Seastrunk and Tevin Reese, it was Shock Linwood who picked up the torch and ran with it for Baylor. What a terrific night for him tonight.
It's Linwood breaking some tackles again. Quentin Hayes brings him down, but Shock Linwood, as they were backed up in their own 1, able to bring it out to the 12-yard line. (41-12), Baylor leading Oklahoma. Everyone talked about this being the first real test that Baylor faced this year because they played Wofford, Buffalo, Louisiana Monroe, West Virginia, K-State, Iowa State, Kansas. On this first test, they answered it with flying colors as they will now take a knee.
They've won big games before. RG3 beat Oklahoma on his way to the Heisman. They beat Kansas State last year, but it was always as the underdog. And now as the favorite, putting themselves on the pedestal. Baylor at home gets it done against Big 12 powerhouse Oklahoma. What a night.
In a game that essentially eliminates Oklahoma in the Big 12.
Oklahoma failed to score at least 13 points for just the 11th time in 195 games with Bob Stoops as the head coach. The 4th worst margin of defeat for Oklahoma. Under Bob Stoops, of course, in his 15 years. What a job, though, by the defense again for the Baylor Bears. I mean, everyone talks about their offense, but it was their defense who set the tone and set it early.
Led them to that 8th victory, the first time in school history. Baylor starts 8-0.
Art Briles will get to shake the hands of Bob Stoops. The overall record is 21-2, Oklahoma over Baylor. The last 3 years, Baylor is 2-1. Both wins coming here at home. What a performance by the Baylor Bears defensively, stepping up their offense, known all about passing. They did it on the ground. 253 yards. Shock Linwood, a career high 182, stepping up as Lake Seastrunk went down with an injury. Baylor moves to 8-0 while Oklahoma falls to 7-2. Now let's go to L.A. for Fox Sports Live with Carissa Thompson.